play, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones, produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope, hold the rope, hold the rope. I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man.
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope, hold the rope, hold the rope on three. 1, 2, 3. Turn that back,
Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Nice throws. The pitch is grounded sharply for a base hit left field, scoring Coffer. They'll try to score Haas. Wagner's throw is up the line, and the Aggies have a 3-0 lead. Sadeo ready. The pitch to Josenberger. He hits it deep to left field. Targac is back, still back, and at the wall, a lunging catch. Tagging from third is Cole. Tagging from second is Rowland. Both are safe. It's 4-1. Targac didn't really look very comfortable on that warning track, and it was a last-moment lunge. Caught it right at the end of the webbing of his mitt. Lefty-righty. First pitch. Swung on and belted. There it goes. Way out of here to left field. A grand slam, and the Hogs have the lead.
Boom. Gotta love it, Phil. Got a first pitch fastball in, and I tell you what, Jared absolutely crushed that ball.
Actually got all 3 outs in the 10th inning. His 2-1 pitch. Diggs drives it deep to right center field. You gotta go. That ball is gone. Kendall Diggs will send him back to the hotel. With a walk-off homer, the Hogs win 6-5 on Diggs' 11th of the year. Morning, everybody. How are we doing today? Yeah, that was quite a day in the SEC tournament. And Diggs' walk-off was just the first of 2. Florida hit a walk-off home run when they were trailing, not when they were tied. B.T. Riopel pulled it off. If I understand the telecast, I was watching yesterday in the hotel. That was the biggest extra inning comeback in the SEC tournament in my lifetime, I think. So, yeah, the top seeds all moved on. The Razorbacks get another dramatic base hit, home run from Kendall Diggs. And we had a nice little party yesterday. Tons of fun. And today's going to be even more fun, maybe, with Arkansas and LSU getting ready for what do we expect to be a 4:30 first pitch. Right now, I am at the Hoover Met. Carolina and A&M are in the 5th inning. So we get to hang out there in the middle of a baseball game again, guys. Good morning, Matt Jones. Good morning, Matt Travis.
Good
morning,
on
today?
Phil. Great job yesterday.
Thank you very much.
Good win by the Hogs. I can smell it. It's in the air.
We had some interesting sense yesterday during the game, Matt. Victory was definitely one of them, but not until Diggs crossed home plate. I don't know what it was about the ballpark. I even mentioned it on the broadcast. There was a moment Bubba and I looked at each other and was like, was that you? But it smelled like sour sewage throughout the Hoover Met, at least for like 10 or 15 minutes. Then later on there was a much different smell, an appetizing smell of seasoned salt. I don't know what that salt was going on, but you know what that
pork on the
smell is.
Spick, yeah.
Was it Hog Delight?
Maybe it was because it wasn't that far off from that Diggs hits the game-winning home run. Maybe it was Hog Delight.
If you're a Razorback, it's okay to eat pork. Exactly. Yeah, we're Razorbacks.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Of course it is. You know how many of my friends from back home in Pittsburgh, Jewish friends of mine like myself, they like to joke about that. It's like, look, you can be a Razorback while keeping kosher if necessary. And it's not like I keep kosher anyway, so that's a whole different story. Look who is coming over here, Bob Holt.
Nice.
We're gonna have Bob
in person.
We'll have Bob in just a little bit. That's right. We'll have a live sit-down conversation with Bob Holt, which means no cat. We heard from one of his cats the last week, but I guess one of us will have to meow on the air live. That might be a little bit uncomfortable. 2 guys sitting next to each other at a baseball park, meowing. Well, I don't think we'll get into that any farther. What a day yesterday. That was tons of fun. I was talked out by the end of it. I was literally talked out. Bubba and I had to do. Boy, I'm really glad I took that last hour of the show off to go talk with DVH and then scribble my lineups in, because once 12 noon hit, LSU and Carolina were only in the 6th inning. So Bubba and I did a 51-minute segment with no commercial breaks.
Wow, yeah.
Leading into an 11-inning, 3-hour, 37-minute game full of drama.
It was a fun game. It took us a while to get going, but we got going. We kept it in front of us, didn't let it get too far away of us, and because it could have got ugly at times. But man, our defense, and Phil, I know you've seen this all year. Josenberger, that dude can go, man. He has some wheels, man. Him patrolling that outfield out there, he is fun to watch.
I still can't believe that he was a second baseman at Kansas.
Yeah, that's what you brought that up early in the year. Yeah, that's who that is. Yeah.
I know he played center field there his first year. Why would you take that kid out of center field?
He's a natural. Yeah.
Makes no sense to me at all.
That play he made at the warning track, because it's always, you got to have a feel for a new park, Phil. We talked about the dimensions, but that play he made at the warning track, the diving catch, to be able to see it and see the ball and know that you're not going to run it, I mean, that's a lot of skill. That's not he made that look easy, and that's not easy to do.
Yeah, that takes a lot of practice doing things like that. But it did take a while for the bats to get going. But I tell you, they had some chances. There's one thing you don't like about yesterday's game is they went 1 for 10 runners in scoring position. But you know what? They won a game going 1 for 10 runners in scoring position. That's because for all of the times it felt like the lineup was beating their heads against the walls, leaving men on base, you got great relief pitching. Cody Adcock was good for a couple of innings. And then, as we've seen throughout the year, there's ups and downs for Adcock, not just in the course of game to game, but inning by inning and sometimes pitch to pitch. So Zach Morris inherits that pitcher's nightmare. Bases loaded, no outs in the 3rd inning. All 3 of the runs scored, and not a lot of that is on Zach. But after that, all that the Aggies got were solo home runs, solo homers against Morris and McIntyre, who combined for 9 innings and 5 hits, striking out 8 batters. Morris at one point retires 10 in a row. McIntyre's just as good as he had been of late. So that was, hey, if you're going to come from behind, then one reason you do that is because somebody in the bullpen pitched their butts off. Both of those guys did yesterday, long relief. And so that allows you to hang around for a little bit. It allows you to leave 7 runners on base in the first 4 innings and then get nothing going in the 5th and the 6th. And then you break through with the bases loaded in the 7th. And the grand slam by Jared Wagner, 5th of the year. Good to see. I can't imagine what that felt like for Wagner. He hadn't homered in like 2 months. So for that was just a great moment for him and hopefully a sign of some things to come, because Arkansas needs him to drive some runs in. But then runs will score against the bullpen sometimes. McIntyre just makes a slider that was hanging up a little bit. Boast is ready for it, leads off the 9th with a home run, and that's all that they could get. Parker Rowland guns down an attempted base stealer in the 10th. Jason Jones makes a great play on a tough hop on the first play that he came in after they pinch run for Caleb Cali, and that's the way the 11th inning starts, and then you get the game-winning homer from Diggs. And then we come to find later on afterwards in Dave Van Horn's presser that in one of those moments where it seemed obvious that you're gonna pinch hit for Parker Rowland, this would be a moment for Ben McLaughlin to come up and bat. But it's the one guy right now that you're not going to take out of the game because apparently the backup catcher, Hudson Polk, was puking. He woke up sick. He was throwing up the night before. He was throwing up in the morning. He was hooked up to an IV. He said he could catch an inning, and Dave Van Horn's thinking, I'm not going to risk it. Because this is what's happened to this baseball team now. Even when you have drawn up the perfect moment for the perfect pinch hitter, you got your backup catcher sick. And you can't go with your normal play.
Hey, good teams find a way. They scrap, and winning becomes contagious just as much as losing is contagious sometimes. I've been on teams where it kind of gets down to the bottom, whether it be basketball, football, and you're down 3 late, and you're just not going to win no matter what. You kind of don't have that belief. Man, it's fun when a team scraps, claws, and they always believe until that last out, last strike, whatever you got to do. This team always believes.
Sometimes and maybe I'm just overly skeptical about things sometimes. I don't always believe when a team says that they believe that they can come back from X amount of runs. Maybe they do, but when you watch a team enough times and you realize, you know what, they might say they think they can, but they really can't. I buy it with this team. It's true. Mm-hmm. They're filled with belief in each other. And is anybody sick of the guys answering that the reason that they're playing so well, that they're winning so many games, in even when you're down to your last a couple of healthy position players. They are playing for each other. Kendall Diggs said it like 3 or 4 times in the post-game presser yesterday, and people roll their eyes at cliches, and I do the same thing. But there's a reason that to a man, every one of them says it. I've heard the same words from Zach Morris, from Peyton Holt, from Jared Wagner, from Jace Borfin, from Kendall Diggs, from Dave Van Horn, Matt Hobbs, all the way down, from the head coach all the way down to the student managers. They all say that same thing.
Well, it shows, and I got to play for a great coach in Houston Nutt, and we had that same belief. There was no one person bigger than the team, and it was a team. You're playing for your brother. You have one common goal, and you're playing together, and you're trying to accomplish something and trying to do something special. And, we talked earlier, Phil, about your Pittsburgh Pirates and, waiting 100 games in or whatever, just try to see how things are going. Or was it 62 games in to see how things are going? But when do you jump on this wagon? When do you really have this belief that, man, this team could win a national title?
Well, I think people are starting to believe that they at least can. Well, if you don't believe by now that they can make it to Omaha, then I don't know what you've been watching.
What have you been
all
watching?
year.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Whether or not you want to believe that they can win a national title, I think has a little bit more to do with the fatalistic instinct of a Razorback fan sometimes, which I understand.
And you got to get a little lucky. You got to get a little lucky in the tournament.
And, oh, by the way, the Pirates, who at one point were 10 games over, they're down to 1 game over 500 and have fallen out.
They're treading water, huh? They're grasping the straws.
Hey, if they find a way to win as many games as they lose,
I was going to say
if
they finish 500, that'd be all right, huh?
Hey, Matt, you also mentioned a magic number today. Today, 100. Today is 100 days from kickoff of Arkansas football. A war memorial against Western Carolina.
They better watch out.
100 days. That's right. So our listeners will be hearing that countdown until the kickoff. You'll hear it on our ESPN Arkansas stations and the rejoins. 100 days. Tomorrow it'll say 99 days. It's like the bottles of beer up on the wall, except they start at 100 instead of 99.
I'm trying to think of 99 up there for the Hogs. I'm sure one of our listeners, but I'll try to come up with a number every day for the Hogs. You're
good with the numbers.
My 99 is. I know Marcus Harrison was up there. Jamal Anderson, I think, was 98. I'll have to kind of check it out. Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know an Arkansas baseball number that was 99, but I do remember an 88.
ESPN Arkansas and Phil Elson are live in Hoover, Alabama at the 2023 SEC Baseball Tournament. Our coverage is presented by Resort TV Cable in Hot Springs. Sign up in May and we'll double your speeds by June 1st. By Beckert. Beckert's and Van Buren is now hiring for junior electrical project engineer and electrical engineer positions. And by the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery, with over $1.2 billion in scholarships raised for Arkansas students.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks. Matt and Maddie T are so lucky. They get Fish City Grill brought to them every week. Some guys have all the luck.
Always hot and fresh, too, Phil. The shrimp and grits are so delicious.
I'm a big fan of their oyster nachos. It's such a unique appetizer, you have to try them.
You and your oysters, Maddie. Now I'm hungry. I'm headed to Fish City Grill.
Smart choice. They have locations in Rogers and Fort Smith.
Fish City Grill, home of friendly folks and serious seafood.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
When it's time for breakfast, Calico County is making it all from scratch. You have the dedicated early morning crew at Calico are cooking up and serving buttermilk pancakes, moist biscuits, rich waffles, country fried potatoes, 3 types of gravy, and of course their famous cinnamon rolls and much more. They serve all of this and a lot more 7 days a week until 11 a.m. Stop in, call ahead, or get it to go. Or just come by and pick up a dozen cinnamon rolls for the office. For breakfast, lunch, dinner, or catering, roll on into Calico County. They're home cooking good. Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue behind Randall Ford.
Hi, it's Ben from Wow World of Wireless, your local Dish Premier retailer. Are you a DirecTV customer? Upgrade to Dish and get a $300 prepaid MasterCard. Just mention offer code DTV to Dish. And that's not all. With Dish and Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Upgrade to Dish from DirecTV today. Never run out of space again and get a $300 prepaid MasterCard when you mention offer code DTV to Dish. Visit us our new location at 601 Church Street in Barley next to Frank Rowe Furniture, or call us today at 877-305-DISH to learn more and make the switch to Dish. That's 877-305-3474.
Offer in 7/12/23. Monthly equipment fees, eligibility requirements, and restrictions apply. Call for full details. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device.
There is nothing like football game days on the Hill. Coach Sam Pittman and the Hogs take Frank Broyles Field at Razorback Stadium for the 2023 football season this September.
Touchdown, Arkansas!
Call the Hogs with your entire family and secure season tickets today at ArkansasRazorbacks.com or over the phone at 800-982-HOGS.
Happy Memorial Day weekend from Harry Robinson, Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisol. You won't find a better selection of brand new Fords, rebates, incentives, and matching down payments this weekend.
Yeah, you know, Tommy, I mean, Ford right now is offering as low as 0% financing on new Fords. So, you know, most people are saying don't buy right now. Interest rates are sky high. Well, hey, not here. The manufacturer has given us some amazing incentives. You get your rebates and you get your special APR. And this weekend for Memorial Day weekend sale, we're matching your down payment up to $2,000.
So $2,000 becomes $400, but if you only got $500, you can turn that into $1,000, $1,000 into $2,000. So it's up to $2,000 to make it $4,000 this weekend.
Yes, matching your down payment up to $2,000. So come down here and see us. This is where you want to buy your new Ford.
Bring your trade to Harry Robinson, Salisol Ford. Nobody will pay you more for your trade either this weekend at Harry Robinson. 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisol. Online at harryrobinson.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Should start with Bob.
It's time to talk with the unique individual.
You said you and Diva are OGs, old guys? Brett, you spoke so positively recently. I mean, did you expect this to happen?
He's a man of mystery.
Why do you always talk about Arkansas? But go ahead.
Well, why do you always talk about Kentucky? Hey, it's Bob again. I think I'm unmuted now. I figured it out. Man, you win the lottery 3 times, get to go to Starkville.
A man whose incisive questions and rapier wit.
Hey, John, I had a 2-parter if that's okay. What did you mean? I'm sorry. I'm not that hip. Man, we got to get the Packers straightened out. Losing to the Jets, that ain't in Lambeau, that ain't good.
That placed him on the Mount Rushmore of Arkansas sports writers.
What do you think about this?
Sure, Bob. There's a future in that, yeah.
Here he is, the one and only Bob Holt.
Hey, guys. Who's in Fayetteville?
Bob's sitting right next to me.
OG.
Here. You can hear him right here. Bob, what's going on, man? How's Hoover treating you?
It's nice, the weather. I mean, a little bit of rain delay, but not much. Again, Tuesday it didn't affect Arkansas. And, the weather's great. I think it's in the low 80s. Usually it's oppressive here, humid and 95 and
or wet, or incredibly wet and raining and disgustingly foggy, all that kind of stuff.
Or both. So, the weather couldn't be better. The games have been really, really good. I mean, yesterday, to me, reminded me of being in Omaha. I mean, you've got high-level games, walk-off games. Today you've got number 4 Arkansas playing number 3 LSU, and I guess number 2 Florida playing number 6 Vandy. I mean, these games could be in Omaha. Maybe they will be.
Hey, the teams that are playing in the afternoon are all probably going to be national seeds, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're all going to be top 8 seeds without question, I think. Nobody asked me, but I just go by what I read.
I just did ask you. It's okay if you answer the question.
Okay.
It's perfectly okay. Yeah. Who's the MVP of this Arkansas team? And that's a pretty difficult question, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, especially with all the guys being hurt. I mean, like earlier in the season, I might have said a guy like Josenberger, who plays such a key defensive position. I mean, he makes that great play in the outfield. I think it was in the first inning, and he's a catalyst as a leadoff hitter, and he's got some pop in his bat. But then, no offense to him, but he got hurt. Kendall Diggs, it's kind of hard to say it about the DH, but when he was in the outfield, I think he really improved as a right fielder. He's obviously yesterday shows what a clutch hitter he is. I was talking to Matt Hobbs about this the other day, and of course I guess Matt's a little biased because he's a pitching coach, but he said we were talking about Hagen Smith, and he just talked about how versatile he's been and how willing he's been to do whatever the team needs, whether that's obviously he's starting today, and he's a number 1 type starter. He's going to be, I imagine next year he'll be a first-round draft pick. Who knows? And he's been great as a closer. He's been great in long relief closing games. And it's like Matt was saying, a lot of guys who have the credentials, I'm paraphrasing here, but of a Hagen Smith would say, no, I'm a starter. I'm a Friday night guy.
Right.
You're not bringing me out of the bullpen or whatever. And he said that Hagen's attitude has been awesome, and I'm sure it rubs off on the rest of the team. He basically said, tell me what you want me to do, and I'll do it to the best of my ability. So sometimes it's hard to say that about a pitcher, but he's been so good, I'd probably have to say Hagen Smith.
Selflessness.
Yeah.
Is that right? Matt, when you talk about, teams that play for each other, like these guys always talk about, that means you're putting the team ahead of yourself.
And it means they're buying in. It means whatever coach is selling, whatever he's doing, the players are buying in, and it really is a beautiful thing to watch when they're playing for each other. And they're happy, and it's kind of like that basketball team a little bit this year. They didn't care who was leading the team in scoring. This team doesn't care how they get it done. They just go out there and want to get it done.
Yeah, and you think about yesterday that, like I listened to Phil earlier, they were leaving guys on base left and right, hitting into double plays, and couldn't get, timely hits to get guys in. And you're thinking, man, it's just not their day. And A&M's up 4-0. A&M's a pretty good team. And, Arkansas swept them, so they've got a lot of motivation. And yet Arkansas came back, took the lead, and then very deflating. Obviously, you lose the lead on that home run, and then they come back and win it again. So I just think it speaks to the resiliency the team showed yesterday and really has showed all season.
This game today, you know what the importance of this game is? You don't want to play for the SEC championship if you have to play on Friday. You just don't. Especially if you're in a position like Arkansas or LSU. And like I know Kevin O'Sullivan told a writer yesterday after their comeback win over Alabama that Florida has something to play for, and that's the top overall seed. And I kind of laughed a little bit because, the history of the top overall seed in the tournament. But I'm not sure if there is that much to play for as far as the national tournament is concerned, except not getting overworked. One way for that to happen is to have to play Friday, and then maybe you win Friday, you play Saturday, and go on.
Well, I think the key is you don't get greedy and overwork your pitchers.
Mm-hmm.
You can't say, well, we want to do this, we want to do that. We can't get greedy. So if they feel like today, you got 2 of the best pitchers going to the Arkansas LSU game, but I assume they'll both be on some kind of pitch count. So it might be a pitcher's duel for 5 innings or 4 innings or something. I don't know. And then Arkansas's got some young guys. Frankly, they need to get it back out there. They need to get Gage Woods some work. They need to get Christian Faust some work. Probably Parker Coyle, different guys. And maybe you wouldn't pitch him if it was the championship game of the College World Series. But here in Hoover, those guys need some work. I mean, this is obviously a high-level event. There's a lot of fans here. You're facing great hitters for all these teams, and so I think it's good. Just don't get greedy, because it'd be great to win a championship and all that, but at the end of the day, for a team like Arkansas and Florida and Vandy and LSU, it's about getting your guys working. Like, it was so great for Arkansas that, Wagner hit a grand slam. Obviously, that's always a good thing. But, I think he'd been 1 for 13 in his comeback until then, been hit by 3 pitches. And, you just tell that had to give him a lot of confidence. And Dave was talking about, even before that, how he was, looking better in BP. And then Josenberger just hit a couple of drives really hard. They were outs. One of them was a sac fly. They got a run in. But I think it's good for those guys to get work as they continue their comeback. So there's benefits to being here. I don't think Arkansas honestly can really help itself, or these top 4 teams can, by winning, other than kind of keep your mojo going. But we all know the history. Arkansas went 0-2 here last year, did not playing very well, and then went to Omaha 2 years ago. Mississippi State went 0-2. They won the national championship.
There's evidence. There's evidence
So,
either way. It just depends on what side of the stake you want to claim.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it. Is it okay if we would have sung "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" together? I felt a little weird.
You got to take your shirt off like Harry Carey and let's get it. Yeah.
Bob, you first.
Nobody wants to see me with my shirt off.
Bob, what do you?
Harry Carey was in good shape for a guy his age. I always thought. I guess all those Budweisers had a good effect.
He did all kinds of 16-ounce
Holy
curls.
cow! Yeah. Bob, what do you like to do in Hoover, man? How many times you been down there? Where do you go eat when you go down there? What's something you got to get?
Well, of course, a lot of work. Last night we went to walk-ons because it was one of the few places that was still open when we left. And there's a walk-ons.
What time did you get out of here?
Left here about 9:30. There was some problems with the transcription, so I actually had to do a bunch of it myself.
Yeah, and good luck finding a restaurant that's not full of LSU fans once their game is over.
Yeah, there's some good barbecue. Obviously, it's Alabama. There's some good barbecue places. And on tap, somebody told me it was closed. I don't know if it's closed for renovations or what. That was a place we
wrong
always
time
used
to
to
be
go
closed.
to.
Maybe they're just getting ready for SEC Media Days.
I don't know. We thought walk-ons might stay open a little later last night. But of course, that Alabama the Alabama-Florida game was pushed back because the Arkansas A&M game went extras. But, yeah, we kind of got caught up in that Alabama traffic. But
the team that I feel for here is Auburn, because Auburn. What was the last pitch of the Auburn-Vanderbilt game? Like 12:30 at night?
Something like that.
I turned it off in the 3rd inning. I was like, I've seen enough today. I'm going to sleep.
And, of course, they played Mizzou in the late game. Then, when we got here a little while ago, their bus was just pulling in.
Oh, yeah, Auburn's probably taking batting practice right now.
They literally are. Yeah, they're taking BP.
They just went to sleep 10 hours ago.
Yeah. Well, these kids are young. They're resilient.
I always hear that. But it's like, so Dave Van Horn said it yesterday. Bubba and I could tell. Offensively, the team looked a little bit asleep for the first 5 innings. They got beat on a lot of pitches that other times they don't get beaten on.
Yeah, I didn't get to follow up with him. He said he thought they looked rusty. He talked about the weather. They really haven't been able to have like real practices, which to me meant they hadn't been able to get on ball fields. So I don't know where they'd been getting some work in. But he sounded like they hadn't been able to get in what they would have been like. I know they were off Sunday after they got here the night before from Nashville, and they would have had practices Monday and Tuesday. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what they did Monday and Tuesday, but apparently they didn't have their normal practices.
Well, hopefully today the Bats wake up because you're facing maybe the top overall pick in the draft.
Yeah, you're facing a guy that puts bats to sleep.
Yeah, sometimes it's like he throws a ball through the bat, for crying out loud, man.
Bob, so when you're playing this guy, when you're going against the number 1 pitcher probably in the country, maybe the number 1 over, do you try to get his pitch count up? What do you think the hitter's technique? What are they going to be? What are they going to be thinking? You think when they're up there, or is it just hit the best pitch you can get?
Well, I think maybe early, try to be patient. Maybe you got to probably try to figure out what the umpire's strike zone is. But I think, top pitchers like Skeens, they're going to get if they're around the plate, they're going to get the call. Yeah. I would think the same with Hagen Smith. I mean, the umpires know who these guys are.
He doesn't walk a lot of guys. You can't let him get deep in the count.
His strikeout total is mind-boggling. Was it 164 in 86 innings?
You're going to try to get his pitch count up, and then he's going to throw 1, 2, 3, and you're out.
Yeah, well, exactly. So you don't want to sit there and say, I'm going to see what he's got, and next thing you know, you're down 0-2. But I think you try to be patient. Obviously, if they get his pitch count up, that'd be great. And I think both these guys will be on some kind of pitch count, or neither team wants to, neither coaching staff wants to wear out their aces.
The amount of hittable pitches you get from a Paul Skeens is so minimal.
Yeah.
You got to jump on the first good pitch you see. Really?
Yeah.
I mean, and close your eyes and swing. Did you hit it? I don't know. Smelled good.
Yeah, no, you're right, because you're not – if you get a fastball you like, or maybe you're sitting on a curveball or whatever the case might be, you probably need to go ahead and let it go, because he's not going to probably go to a lot of 3-2 counts,
This is a pitcher, Matt, that it's funny when you think about it. Like, baseball is not the most physical game in the world, right? But pitchers can really intimidate batters when they throw as hard as Paul Skeens does.
Yeah.
So that is the art of instilling fear in batters who are not used to feeling scared, because he can make them look stupid or just helpless.
And I think it goes both ways. It breeds confidence to your defense. It breeds confidence when you're up there at the plate, knowing that you got your ace out there on the bump.
And with Hagen Smith, you feel the same thing. Here's the thing about Hagen Smith. And I think that, this is there's a track record of this. He is dominant for short periods of time, and then things sometimes get a little hairy on him, like the start against Vanderbilt. 3 innings, dominance. 4th and 5th innings, he had a lot of guys on base, a lot of traffic, a lot of run. He still got through with just the 1 run because he can pitch himself out of some jams. But the dominance rarely lasts for an entire start. And I still feel Hagen Smith is a first-round pick next year. There's no doubt at all. He's got that stuff, and he's got that competitive nature. But there's another gear for him. There still is another gear for him this year. He hasn't pitched as well as he can.
Well, I think some of that goes, and I think they've utilized him in a good way. And Dave always talks about, you focus on winning that opener and then kind of go from there. But I think if he'd been a starter all year, maybe that would be a little different. And as we mentioned earlier, he's been very unselfish about it. But I think maybe when one weekend you're pitching the last 4 innings and kind of closing it out, you have a certain mentality. If you're starting a game, you have a certain mentality. And he's kind of done – not kind of – he has done all that. And so I think sometimes maybe, trying to shift your mindset and probably your body, too. Your body's probably used to operating at a certain level. I remember the game was it Mississippi State where Dave talked about he was like they started
cage lion
in the dugout, and he was throwing everything like 97 or whatever, because he was acting like he was pitching the 9th inning.
Yeah, it was like he just closed the first inning,
and that's what that's what he'd been used to mentally and physically. And you got to remember, he's not 28-year-old Tom Seaver. He's really talented, but he's still a college sophomore, and so it takes some adjustments. And kudos to him for being versatile enough to do it. But I think there's a physical aspect to it, and there's also a mental aspect to it that you have to adapt and adjust to.
So, Bob, obviously you're covering Arkansas baseball for as far as they go, and then there's probably SEC Media Days right here in Hoover. They are in Hoover this year, aren't they?
They're actually in Nashville.
They're in Nashville.
So if you go to Hoover, you're going to be for Media Days. You're going to be very disappointed.
Hey, be peaceful and quiet, which SEC Media Days are not.
Yeah.
And then it's camp. Today is 100 days until the start of football season.
That's crazy. When you said that, I sort of cringed. You want to try to get some vacation in there, but with as deep as Arkansas often goes in baseball. And then I remember Media Days used to be like August 1st. Now it's usually around July 15th.
Yeah, and media vacation covering Arkansas athletics is called Omaha.
Yeah, Omaha's a nice place.
It is.
You like a little downtime, so hopefully I think the last day of College World Series, and I'm not saying Arkansas is going to get the World Series. I think they obviously have a shot, but I hope people remember there's only 8 teams get to go, So it's not like Dick Vitale, projecting the NCAA tournament. He gets 100 teams in there because he likes everybody. There's only 8 teams that get to go. And there's a lot of teams that are good enough to go, and you got to get lucky and hot. And hopefully for Arkansas, you don't lose any other. That was just mind-boggling when Dave said that Hudson Polk was ill and hooked up to an IV. And I remember saying, well, who's your third string? Well, probably Peyton Holt, but then who do you put at second base? And you got Harold Cole out there. Maybe he could play second base, but he's got to play shortstop because Bolton's out, and Holt's got to play second base because Stovall's out. And so, there's only so many pieces on the chessboard you can move around. And so, hopefully for Arkansas' sake, they aren't going to lose anybody else, but you kind of wonder what can happen sometimes.
Bob, we'll leave it there. I appreciate you. Thanks for sitting next to me here and doing this.
It was
Bob,
fun. Very nice area.
You're looking sharp, Bob. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks. Hey, the camera puts on 100 pounds.
It's 100 days from Arkansas football. That's right.
See, 100's the magic number today. Bob didn't even realize that. And Dave said that my catcher is puking. The next thing I was expecting to hear is our pets' heads are falling off. I mean, that's the next step. Let's open the phone lines for the next segment. 877-377-6963. We'll come back with more halftime.
yes, I'm touched by this show of emotion. Should I be fractured by your lack of devotion? Should I? Should I? Oh, you better be good to me. That's how it's gotta be now. 'Cause I don't have no use for what you loosely call the truth. And you better be good to me.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Progressive knows we're all trying to save right now.
Hey, at least we're still enjoying baseball on a Saturday night, right?
Even if it is T-ball.
Yeah, but tickets to the majors are just so expensive now. And who knows, maybe we're seeing a pro in the making.
Sure, in like 20 years. How is he safe? Boo! This ump stinks!
The ump is only 14. We don't really do that.
Oh, my bad. You're doing a great job, ump.
Progressive offers you savings without sacrifice. So save big when you bundle home and auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers.
When it's time for breakfast, Calico County is making it all from scratch. Yeah, the dedicated early morning crew at Calico are cooking up and serving buttermilk pancakes, moist biscuits, rich waffles, country fried potatoes, 3 types of gravy, and of course their famous cinnamon rolls and much more. They serve all of this and a lot more 7 days a week until 11 a.m. Stop in, call ahead, or get it to go. Or just come by and pick up a dozen cinnamon rolls for the office. For breakfast, lunch, dinner, or catering, roll on into Calico County. They're home cooking good. Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue behind Randall Ford.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
What makes a meal magical? Maybe it's coming home to smiling faces and the aroma of the grill. Maybe magic is the moment you finally get the secret ingredient to Mom's signature mac and cheese. Who knows, magic might just be as simple as meeting up with a friend to share a number 2 with fries and extra ketchup. One thing's for certain, magic shouldn't be hard because it's everywhere. All it takes is mixing the right ingredients, good company, great food, and ice-cold Coca-Cola. And then, voila, you'll have a recipe for magic.
What matters most to your family can now cost less. AOG can help you reduce your energy usage without giving up comfort and reliability. Seal and caulk windows. Change the filter on your furnace. Set your thermostat at 68. At AOGC.com, you'll find lots of energy-saving tips that can be done for little or no cost. While you're there, take advantage of AOG's other money-saving energy efficiency programs. Visit AOGC.com today and get more comfort for less cost.
The people have voted, and Evans Body Shop has been recognized. Voted Best in the River Valley this year and 5 years running Best of the Best Independent Body Shop. We are so grateful for the support of our community. EBS has hundreds of 5-star reviews and countless satisfied customers. We invite you to experience a customer service level that sets our shop apart from the others. Call or come by today to see why we say
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
I pulled into Nazareth, was feeling about half-past dead. I just need some place where I can lay my head. the load right on in.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
I said, hey, Carmen, come on, let's go downtown.
I got my head so involved in Arkansas baseball right now. I'm not checking out too much on other things involving some of the team sports and social media, but there's some pretty nasty allegations.
Substantial,
being thrown around.
yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
there's any
don't know how
validity
take some of
to
this
it?
stuff sometimes. Cade Renfro situation apparently going on, and some accusations being thrown from when he was a student at Ole Miss and maybe now at Arkansas as well. And media are reporting on that he was no longer on the team roster. He is on the team roster. You can go to the website right now. It's right there. So, I'm so up in the clouds dealing with Arkansas baseball. Sometimes I'm not paying attention to some of the other things that are going on. But again, I mean, there are no charges or anything like that right now. So there's just a lot of accusations coming from multiple areas. And that doesn't mean that these things are true. You know, I mean, the Matarreza situation, the punter from Buffalo, was a draftee for Buffalo. You see what happened with him, right?
He was exonerated, yeah. Am I saying that right? Exonerated?
I think so. I think that's the right word. So we'll leave it there for the time being, but I'm sure there'll be some other stuff coming out in the very near future. Will in Little Rock, appreciate your call on Halftime today. Will, what's going on?
Not much. I need you to help me figure something out for tonight.
Okay.
So during day games, every time Arkansas has gotten behind or blown a lead, I've gone for a walk and I've listened to you and Bubba.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I've done that, Arkansas has come back and taken the lead and ended up winning the game. It started with the Alabama game, and then South Carolina it happened.
Yeah, you're not the only person that this works for, too, Will. I get texts from friends, and I know this is a thing for plenty of other people. I think there's like a collective consciousness of a certain group of Razorback fans, I guess. It's got to be no more than 20% of you who make good things happen by not watching the game. So just remember those things.
Right. So I don't know what to do tonight because you can't walk at night because you just look weird if you walk at night, you know. So what do I do tonight? Drive to the spot? Because I always walk to the same spot. So
yeah, you drive to the same spot. It depends on where. I know Little Rock very well. What part of Little Rock do you live?
Well, I'm actually on vacation. That's the whole thing. I'm down in South Carolina right now, but it worked yesterday, so do I just drive that same path that worked yesterday? Do I pace around the house? I don't know what to do.
I
think South Carolina, the laws, you can walk at night. I think you'll be all right. And if that's what works, let's do it. It's because it's only weird if it doesn't work.
Yeah, they stopped doing the airplane bottle liquor bottles at bars a while back in South Carolina. So I think you're right, Matt. I think it's okay to get up and walk around town.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on what part of South Carolina.
You by the beach?
Yeah, I'm down at Litchfield, but it's just the whole thing about walking at night.
I got you.
Every time I see someone walking at night, it's like, what's that person?
You think about walking in the ocean. Walking in the ocean at night. There's nothing dangerous about that.
Okay. All right. Well, that's what I'll do then.
Let's go Hogs.
All right, thank you.
Let's go Hogs. Yeah, Will, thank you for the call. Ross in Paris texted in, and he gave the right idea here. He's like, dude, take one for the team. If this team is all about playing for themselves, then walk for them. You walk for them, Will. It's not a matter of if you feel unsafe or anything.
Get that breezy island, South Carolina air going in. You got the trade winds coming in right there, man. Get you a nice little stroll.
Get yourself a boat drink, put a nice little umbrella in the thing, and have yourself some fun and listen to the broadcast.
Ooh.
We might even say hi to you on the broadcast, okay? Thank you very much, Will. Jeremy in Tulsa is next. Hey, Jeremy, you're on Halftime. What's up?
Hey, Phil, Matt, how are you guys?
Great, thank you.
Good. Great call last night, Phil. But I just have a question. I've been thinking about it. So I know that you referenced that you're from Pittsburgh quite a bit. So my question to you is, how did you get associated with the University of Arkansas? I know that you worked for the Travelers in your past. Is that kind of how, or did you go to the U of A, or can you kind of just give me a background on how you're from Pittsburgh, but you have ties and you love the University of Arkansas.
So there is a common connection, and it starts with Jeff Long. You know, Jeff Long was the athletics director at Pitt and then took the job at Arkansas. My brother-in-law worked for Jeff Long at Pitt, so when he moved to Arkansas, I just sent a random email saying, I think you're going to like it in Arkansas, from one Pittsburgher to another that's moved here. I think you'll like it here. And he emailed back, and that was nice. And then when it came for Chuck to need a fill-in for baseball games, when he took over football, they called me. That would have been 2011, the first time that I filled in, and found I really enjoyed being around the baseball program and around Dave and around how they run things, and filled in for like 3 years, baseball only. And then Chuck decided to leave baseball, and I was like, maybe it's time for a change after 14 years with the Travs and doing UALR women's basketball in Henderson State. So I threw my hat in the ring, and here we are. And the Travelers are what brought me to Arkansas. Like, I moved from California to Little Rock to work for the Travelers. I was, worked in minor league baseball for a long time. So I left minor league baseball for the Razorbacks, and I'm really happy I did that.
Well, awesome. Yeah, well, I mean, as a Hog fan, wouldn't want anybody else calling the Arkansas Razorback baseball game. So good luck tonight on the call, and I'll talk to you guys sometime this week.
All right, Jeremy, thank you. Yeah, honestly, like, unless it was a major league team, I don't think there's any other baseball team, minor league or college, that I'd want to work for. This would be about it.
If Jeff Long did one thing, he got one thing right. That was Phil Elson, because I don't know how much more he did right, but at least he did that right.
He did, and truthfully, like, when we had Christina Long on. Remember, his daughter was covering Arkansas athletics at the Fort Smith paper recently. We had her on, and I thanked her. I didn't thank her. I just mentioned it because she had that connection too. Jeremy, appreciate you, man. We got a couple of callers on hold, but I think we got to take our break. So if I can ask Robert and Charlie to hold, we'll get to your calls when we come back on halftime in just a moment. Brought to you by Crabtree RV Center in Alma. That's the dealership that has served the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas for over 70 years. Right there at the junction of I-40 and I-49 beside the Cracker Barrel, Crabtree RV Center helps every family get the best experience. They'll start by helping you choose the right RV for your adventures. In the middle, they got the service and parts department and everything else that you need. Crabtree RV, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years and 4 generations. CrabtreeRV.com, the website. You can look at their entire inventory right there. Step aside for a break, and halftime is back to conclude hour number 1 next.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where we've got a great group of people ready to work hard to help you do whatever it is you're trying to do. Maybe you need to buy a car, sell a car, repair a car. Maybe you're just asking for a friend who has a question about a car. We're here to help. All the happiest customers are rolling with Rath. By the way, visit us on Facebook and check out this month's Winning and Grinning Give-A-Palooza. Who knows what you might win? Maybe a Meineke Mile Service contract or a prepaid maintenance plan or a set of tires. It's fun and it's free, and just one way we say thanks to all of our friends and family who support and promote our business. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. 15 minutes from everywhere, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Hi, this is Melissa Vitale, owner of True Grit Running Company. Your young athlete deserves the best when it comes to footwear. After all, it's good to start early so they don't have problems in the future. We've got options for training, cross-country, gym class, and more. Our well-trained staff can guide your student athlete through our personalized fit process to help find that True Grit fit. And for our cross-country kids, we offer a 10% discount off of your total purchase. Visit our store in Fort Smith, located behind Chick-fil-A.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires, and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
When it comes to siding and windows, the name says it all at Superior Siding and Windows. But did you know they do carports and patio covers? For over 40 years, Superior Siding and Windows has provided vinyl window replacements and all your siding solutions, including carports, patio covers, and now metal roofs. So if you have hail damage, be sure to give Superior Siding a call at 646-7888 for a free in-home estimate. Superior Siding and Windows. Like them on Facebook or visit them at superiorsidingfs.com.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
Call Ted McAvoy in Van Buren or Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Peace of mind in buying a quality and well-maintained vehicle is top priority at Carco Auto Sales. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley and eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and offers a variety of late model, low-mileage vehicles at unbeatable values. Come see the team at 2810 Midland Boulevard today or give them a call at 783-1722. You can check them out online at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales. When you're ready.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
There she stood in the street, smiling from her head to her feet. I said, hey, now, what is this? Now, baby, maybe she's in need of a kiss. I said, hey, what's your name, baby? Maybe we can see things the same. Now, don't you wait, oh, hesitate. Let's move before they raise the fucking rate. All right now, baby, it's all right now. All right now, baby, it's all right now.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Give them a call or send them a text at 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Carolina and A&M are in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Aggies leading 5-0. South Carolina's managed only one base hit. So this could end up being their 5th consecutive losing weekend, which is going to knock them out potentially of a regional host. They were in a really good position for a while. Might not be right now. Charlie's in a good position. He gets to take us to the top of the hour. What's up, Charlie? How you doing?
Well, I think Eddie would probably be better at this. But I will say this, Phil, if you guys can hear, y'all can hear me well, right?
Hear you
Am I
loud
good?
and clear, Charlie. Yeah, you're good. You're good to go.
All right, I'm not going to move from this spot then. All right, I do want to say, like I always tell you, you and Bubba, it's like the perfect bro chemistry when you guys call the game. And I could hear that excitement in your voice after Kendall had knocked that thing home, but it almost sounded like a sigh of relief, too, because, yes, I know it's the SEC tournament and all of that, and obviously we all know we all want the big one more than anything. And that's the most important thing, but obviously Arkansas had their chances, and if you wanted to, go on something that they didn't do well yesterday, it would be with runners in scoring position. But again, it just goes back to this. That's it. It just goes back to this team being able to fight through adversity and finding a way to get it done. Phil, I know you're up against the break. I'm sorry about that, but these two pitchers today, you're playing a guy like Steens. I know you probably want to get his pitch count up, but how important is it when he actually does make a mistake, which will be rare, probably, you got to get a hit off that. Like, if you're up 2-0 in the count, how important is it to be aggressive in those situations when you're playing against a guy like this? Anyways, I'll hang up and listen. Thanks,
Charlie. It's a good point because he doesn't make that many mistakes, and a lot of the mistakes that he might make are coming in at 99 miles an hour, and it's tough to time that. Major league hitters can turn on that now. In these days, big league hitters have seen enough 100-mile-an-hour fastballs that it's not like you're used to it, but you might have seen one the day before. It's rare in college baseball to see somebody that throws this hard, this consistently, and that's why he could be the #1 overall pick, and he's not wild. So you can tell yourself, yeah, be ready for this fastball on 2-0, but good luck, with the result of that. It's tough.
And you got to be able to throw a fastball, obviously. What's his secondary pitch, Phil? What's he like to come in secondary?
He's got a good slider.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's needed too
Does
much.
It drop 12 miles? Is it about 88? How fast does he throw his slider?
I'm
92?
not sure how far. I'm not sure how hard his slider is, but a guy that's going to throw 98 to 99 might throw a slider that's 92.
Yeah.
91.
Yeah.
And it moves too. Like, his four-seamer's not a straight fastball. He's not a mechanic Mike.
Kind of rises a little bit, that four-seamer. Yeah.
Or seems like it does.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Clay Henry rises into halftime for the next couple of hours. As we got a couple of hours between the end of halftime and the first pitch. So Ruskin and Zach get to do like the extra pregame show leading into the dugout with me and Bubba. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to talking with Clay as well. So stay with us. Halftime back after this.
Art's Barbecue and Burgers has the best burger in town. And every Saturday, enjoy any burger at Art's and get $1 off. Try Art's Bacon Cheeseburger, topped with house-smoked bacon, or the Art Attack with bacon, ham, and a fried egg. And all of Art's burgers come with a mound of fresh-cut fries, or upgrade to Art's homemade onion rings. $1 off all burgers every Saturday at Art's Barbecue and Burgers, 8203 Rogers Avenue, next to Aaron's in Fort Smith.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Drs. Sparkman, Nanda, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com. Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment, not having enough home time, feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit PatriotTransport.com to apply. That's PatriotTransport.com.
If you're looking for a quality pre-owned vehicle that's ready to deliver thousands of miles of dependable driving, look no further than Midland Motors. There you'll find a great selection of clean late model vehicles offering easy financing, flexible payment options, buy here, pay here, and repair here too. Many to choose from, including sports cars, trucks, and mid-size economy, SUVs, and others. Let Rick Heath or Scott Sharp help you find the right one to fit your needs. At Midland Motors, 1820 Midland Boulevard in Fort Smith.
You got the right one, baby.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. Our high this afternoon will be into the lower 80s. Tonight, mainly clear and overnight low, upper 50s to lower 60s. Friday, a bounty of sunshine. Our high on Friday will be in the lower 80s. And Saturday, sunny skies. Our high right around 80 degrees. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today.
I hate everything you just said. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is halftime. Coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
They're hilarious.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart up. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! On three! 1, 2, 3! Turn that down,
Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
We had a little baseball player. We put 1/2 peak.
Welcome back into halftime, hour number 2. Phil Elson at the Hoover Met, where Texas A&M has a 5-0 lead, and Carolina is batting in the top of the 9th. Matt Jones and Matt Travis are in the ESPN Arkansas headquarters, and the Hall of Famer Clay Henry is with us from up in northern Arkansas. What's up, Clay? How are you?
I'm doing well, man. It's good to hear you.
Good to hear from you today, man. It's a great day for baseball, and I don't know, I feel a little bit weird here in Hoover. There are no clouds up above. I just kind of expect that the rapture is going to happen next. This is always supposed to rain here. What's going on here? It rained for the first 2 days. It rained every day last year. I'm a little frightened that the weather is picture perfect.
Well, it's you know what? I think that is a sign that you should use your cohort, Bubba. He's there, right?
Not at the moment. I had to tell him, I was like, you need to make sure you get here early because
I mean,
Alabama
he's in
plays
town,
next
basically.
Yeah, he's here. He's in town, yes. They put out an APB, and he showed up, that's for sure. And he was there next to me yesterday. So
I think
told
you
him,
should let him call a half inning.
I'd love to.
Have you ever talked to him about that?
Never done it. In fact, I don't even think he would like – I don't think he wants to do that because, you know, you get the 60-second breaks between innings, and every once in a while we'll add 30 seconds so that I can go run and use the restroom if necessary.
Yeah.
And he's timing me. He times me because he times everything. I mean, he times pitchers to home plate, batters to first base, catchers to second base, and me to the bathroom. It's his favorite thing.
Well, I think you should be late coming back one time just to see what he does.
I know. I'd love the idea.
Then next week he'll show up with a Gatorade bottle and put it right under the table and say, "There you go." Yeah.
Here, this for you. This for you. You
like
got to get me like a really nice one, though. I mean, not just any old Gatorade
Well, it'd
bottle.
be like Norm have a University of Texas cup.
That's right. It would just be tradition. I would just it would be. It would be a Longhorns labeled Gatorade cup or Gatorade bottle.
The orange kind, yeah.
I can follow if I could follow in the footsteps of Norm DeBrine, if I could follow in Norm's footsteps in anything in life, and there's a lot of things that Norm does and did that are not me. Like I'm not a baseball coach. I'm not a deacon in the Catholic Church, and so maybe that'd be the one thing I could do.
Well,
that would be like Norm.
I know I complimented your shirt earlier, but the throwback you had on a couple days ago, was it? Yes, it was 2 days ago. You had the Norm DeBrine number 23 throwback jersey. That was sick. Now that was one of the coolest ones you had. Yeah,
that was a giveaway, and Bubba has that giveaway shirt nailed to the wall in the radio booth,
as he should. Yeah,
he, you know, Clay, like Bubba Carpenter views Norm DeBrine as like a second father. The only reason he did he agreed to do the radio broadcast with me is because Norm wouldn't let him say no, and he can't say no to Norm DeBrine.
He told me that, and he said it was like talking to his dad, and it's like, this is going to happen. No, I don't think so, Coach. I don't think this is my calling. Yes, you need to do that. And of course, he's a natural. I mean, he's perfect, and I think that you guys are, y'all are like the odd couple, but it's the opposites attract, right?
In this case, they definitely do. They definitely do. Bubba and I we don't bring this up too often, on the air. We don't talk about politics or things like that, but we definitely come from different, from opposite ends of that spectrum. And even the way that we talk about baseball, he's a process guy. He's a coach. He's somebody that is worried much more about the process and about the numbers, about like exit velocity, how hard you hit the ball. What were you thinking when you got this pitch or when you were at this count? Because those are all the things he was worried about as a player. Yeah, he was worried about his batting average and stuff like that, but it was process. That's the thing that stands out when it comes to athletes. Media and fans, sometimes we're worried more about the results. And that's the thing. Those are the things that I track. So even in how we watch a game, we're watching the game from completely different vantage points.
I love it when there's a hit or an error play, and he thinks every time it's a hit. Every time.
Because he's a hitter.
Because he's a hitter. And he doesn't know that the error helps the pitcher because he doesn't care about the pitcher.
Yeah, that is one thing that, Matt, like in baseball, in football, you gain yards. You get that on your numbers. Those are your stats. You score a touchdown, you get a touchdown. There's no gray area in this. Like with hit and error, sometimes a ball that's a rocket off the bat, but hit right to the shortstop and gets through him. Every hitter expects that to be a base hit. Every pitcher expects that to be an error. And
Absolutely.
This is the only sport I know that happens.
Quinn Grovey would have about 1,000 more rushing yards if you got to count when he was rushing. Then he would pitch the ball to one of his running backs, and then they get all the rushing yards.
Well,
that's
the way it works, and I've been in these situations. The quarterback. Well, yeah, you're right. Once he has the ball, he gets
if he
those
runs
yards.
17
but
yards
if you
and
go,
pitched it, then
he gets the 17 yards.
The running back would get all those yards.
No.
If you pitch it,
you get the carry to, you get the yards to where you pitched it.
When did they start that?
It's been like that for. I promise you got that. I promise you did. And here's the cool part about it: you didn't get a carry. It's just yards. And a couple of those really changes your per game average, but it has always been that way. If the quarterback runs the ball down the field 20 yards and then he pitches it, the running back scores the touchdown, the running back gets the last 40, you get the first 20. It's always been that way.
I learn something new every day.
Yeah, and I promise you that they did that while you played. You just didn't know it.
I pitched it behind the line of scrimmage.
Once I
took off, I was like, I think I'm just going to take off.
I don't think you pitched it too much downfield.
Hey, we had one. We were playing LSU, and my hamstring was all strung up, and we ran a little speed option play to the right, and I pitched one out. They blitzed both of us. They had two guys out there, one for Peyton Hillis and one for me, but they both came at me, and I couldn't even run. I pitched that thing to Peyton Hillis, and he went for about 68. That was fun. What's up?
That was fun. Oh, is this food coming in?
Yeah, we got the little peeps here. How you kids doing?
Fish City Grill has showed up for them.
You're getting Fish City Grill. I just had a peanut butter and chili sandwich.
Fish City Grill's in the house. Thank you.
They had some French toast with sweet cream cheese in the media room over here a moment ago. And, of course, I've got 5 steps away, I've got the creamsicle mouthful that I could do during the commercial break. They've got all the ice cream treats, the sun-kissed orange soda in there, and I could just be fat and happy for the rest of the show.
Creamsicle. Is that the orange ones?
Well, you got to make it yourself. They don't have creamsicles in the freezer. You got to do a little bit of work yourself. You got to take the ice cream. They got a little cup of vanilla ice cream in there. You just get your little cup of vanilla ice cream. You take a few scoops out of it, put it in a cup, and then you add the orange soda. Voila! And everybody's looking at you like you're a magician.
It's almost like an orange float.
Yeah, and put a little bendy straw in it.
It's exactly what it is.
Ooh.
It is an orange float. There were a few years, probably like 13, 14 years ago, I get into kicks on desserts every once in a while. I've already described how I make my microwave s'mores. And for a while, I ate those microwave s'mores every day for 4 months. I did that with various ice cream sodas about 15 years ago as well. I get a little bit in the weeds with things sometimes. I'll call it going down rabbit holes. I go down a dessert rabbit hole every once in a while, even in front of media people here. So I'll do that during the commercial break.
Cheesecake. That's where you got to go with your dessert right there. Whenever you go to a buffet and you have cheesecake, you get the cheesecake first.
Clay, they do the SEC media food good here. It's good. This isn't like you show up and you're getting bologna sandwich with a piece of bologna in it. The food up here is pretty good, and you know what it's like. Sometimes you're not quite sure what you're going to get when you go on the road to cover a team. You come to the SEC tournament, you're going to get fed pretty well. They do it up right.
The best road press box food my whole career was at Kansas State.
Really?
I think that was back in the days, Lynn Dickey days and whatever. I guess they were afraid that nobody was going to cover their games because they were the Wildcats. Yeah. But they got the dairy producers one game to supply the food, the beef producers of the state, and then the pork producers. And I don't remember what other producers, but it seemed like those rotated. And I would cover sometimes twice up there. Kansas State would play Tulsa, Oklahoma State. I'd get 2 of those games maybe. And you just went in there and it was like prime rib when it was the beef producers. Prime rib in the press box.
That does sound good.
No, it was good.
I always thought the guys with the Tulsa Drillers had a great press spread, but it was also the food that the rest of the employees ate. And they also, I've never seen it, I counted one time, they had 23 different condiments at a AA ballpark for media members. It was like some kind of a condiment museum. It wasn't ancient ketchup, but it was all sorts of different stylish ketchups and everything.
Like stuff in packets?
No, it wasn't packets. It was bottles. They spent a lot of money on condiments at that ballpark. They don't have the condiments here for you, but that's okay.
They probably traded it out to Safeway or something.
The Aggies finished the shutout of South Carolina. Carolina goes 1-2 in the SEC tournament, and they got to be a little nervous waiting to see where they're going to go for a regional, because I'm sure they think they've got the resume to be at home. But if you finish the season with 5 consecutive losing weekends.
Yeah, so the South Carolina was rolling. They had it going on. They were like, as good a team as in the country. And then they started getting injuries, and they succumbed to their injuries. And that's what's so impressive about what Arkansas had the same type of injuries, but they survived and got better at the end. And they're winning games. South Carolina, and you go back and you look at all the players they lost, a lot of them position players, did not handle it good.
Well, the Hogs have handled it well, even with the backup catcher sitting in the back of the dugout, hooked up to an IV because he's throwing up all night. Man, gosh, it just keeps coming. It just keeps coming. I know I heard that music in the background, so we can break. We can take some phone calls as well in the upcoming segment. 877-377-6963. We were talking desserts for a moment there. Maybe you eat too many desserts. Maybe you need to go to Riley Farm Dental. Well, Riley Farm Dental is at the entrance to Riley Farm, helping every type of dental care, procedures for you and your family. Dr. Sparkman, Nanda, and Farmer give all their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. They'll help out with general dentistry, braces, implants, cosmetics, all of it at Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Farm Drive, Suite A. They're at the entrance to Riley Farm. That's right off Highway 71 in Fort Smith. Phone number is 226-3500. RileyFarmDental.com is the website. You can make an appointment by giving them a call. Matt thinks South Carolina is going to Coastal Carolina. Maybe they go to East Carolina. I don't think they're going to be in South Carolina. We'll be back in Hoover right after this.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Right now, quick lane Lane Tire and Auto Center at Randall Ford is having a huge tire sale. Michelin, Goodyear, Bridgestone, all the major brands with the lowest price guarantee. Brakes, wheel alignment, oil change and maintenance, air conditioning, batteries, alternator, and so much more. At Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center at Randall Ford, we service all makes and models, and you never need an appointment. Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center at Randall Ford, where we meet or beat any advertised price. Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center at Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue, or online 24/7 at randallford.com.
Hi everyone, this is Lisa with Davis Floor Covering. Are you ready to update your home or office and get it looking its best? Whether it's new carpet, hardwood flooring, tile, stone, or luxury vinyl plank, Davis Floor Covering can help you with all your flooring needs. With the best brands such as Bella Sarah Hardwood and JP Mathis Vinyl Plank Flooring. And we even do countertops, so come on in and let's get started. Davis Floor Covering, 3 locations to serve you: Fort Smith, Springdale, and Tahlequah. Or call us, 479-452-4808.
Hey, this is Chad Warner, product manager for Booyah Bait Company in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The hottest swim jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob, a bunch of river rats from Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's winning tournaments on Dardanelle and Kerr like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged vegetation, water willow, lily pads, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. Available at lurenet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma, the Booyah Mobster.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with The Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call The Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind everyone to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I'd also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify.
The homestead tax credit can save you up to $375 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Drs. Sparkman, Nanda, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
You must understand, the touch of your hand makes my pulse react. That it's only the thrill of boy meeting girl opposites attract. It's physical, only logical. You must try to ignore that it means more than that. Oh, what's love got to do with it? What's love but a second-hand emotion? What's love got to do with it? Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken?
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
I've got cause to be
You guys, I was driving to Nashville last week. Jen and I put on this album. We were listening to Private Dancer. I don't know. It must have been, I'm addicted to listening to those Casey Kasem old American Top 40 shows. It must have been one from 1984, and it wasn't this song that played, but it was a different song off this album, Private Dancer, that played. And I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot how great this album is. We put it on, and it still holds up. I'd forgotten she did covers of Let's Stay Together by Al Green and the Beatles' Help on that album, and they still both sound really good. This was the Tina Turner that I connected with at the age of 7. Of course, she passed away yesterday at the age of 84 in her home country. Remember, she had, and I'd forgotten about this. I had to read about it this morning. She was a bigger star in Europe than she was in the United States, and moved to Switzerland. And she was a Swiss citizen, had renounced her American citizenship, and she had a love affair with Europe and European music fans. They idolized her. I didn't realize this, but reading the stories, she said that she was as big or bigger than Madonna in Europe compared to in the United States.
I saw a concert she did in London, maybe in the last 10 years, maybe 5 years ago, and she nailed it. I mean, and it was a packed out. It was a stadium. It wasn't an arena. And you just think there's, kind of like George Strait at Arrowhead, 60, 70,000 people. And, I mean, they roared and she played to it. She danced and did her stuff.
It's amazing. We were in Nashville last week. Stevie Nicks filled up a football stadium, but it was with Billy Joel. Madonna, I don't know. I mean, could Madonna fill a football stadium in the United States now? I doubt it. Tina Turner filled the football stadium in the UK 10 years ago at 74 and was probably still an amazing dancer.
Shake that groove thing.
She was shaking it.
She could dance like nobody else. And so, I mean, I remember from that album, and you just played that song, What's Love Got to Do with It? It was, I don't remember if it was that video or if it was You Better Be Good to Me, where you see her taking every step and you see the shoes that she's wearing, and it kind of goes up, and I mean, she had fabulous legs. She was such an amazing dancer, and she showed those legs off on videos and in concert and everything. That's the first time I remember seeing Tina Turner. So I didn't know that was a comeback album for her, that she had totally remade herself, that she was not a rock and roll musician until then, and that's still how I remember her. But yeah, I mean, she's universally beloved, but I guess they took to her a little bit more in Europe than the United States.
They were rolling on the river with her in Europe for sure.
Yeah. And I still associate that song with Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Yeah.
But I think who put it out first? Who was it first that put that song out? Because I don't think either of them wrote it, but they both made it an incredibly popular song, maybe a couple years apart.
Well, when I hear it in my head, it is not Creedence; it's her.
In my head, I hear Creedence.
Version. It was. Yeah.
Okay. A lot of people say that Tina and Ike's version was better.
I think it was.
Well, and you're one of them. Cody's giving us a call, 877-377-6963. Cody, what's going on?
Hey, not a lot. I'd probably have to agree with you, Phil. Probably Creedence is what comes to my mind on that, and Rolling on the River.
Well, there's nothing
Cody,
about
I'm sorry,
CC.
I had a little trouble hearing you there just because they're between games, so the PA announcer's talking a little bit more.
Clay heard me.
There's nothing about CCR visually that fires me up.
Yeah, you're right. Bunch of guys with bowl cuts and facial hair.
Sorry.
That's fair. That's fair, Clay. That's fair. Hey, I just thought that was a great team performance yesterday in Hoover. Guys, my question's a little bit away from everything that's going on, and I apologize because I know that's good talking points for y'all. So the ACC, I believe, did they just sign something as a conference to give players compensation for playing in postseason?
Did they?
I thought it was performance-based based on where you finish, and you get paid more money based on where you finish
the
first,
teams
second,
get
third.
it.
Yeah.
It's the schools that get the money.
Okay.
I don't think this is a
No, they're not giving it to the players.
It's not paying players for
Okay.
postseason. It's essentially
If you make the playoffs, you get a bigger
Right.
chunk. Yeah.
Okay. So I misunderstood that. All right. I just want to clarify that. I really didn't read into it. I should have done that before I asked y'all, but I just thought that was interesting because the ACC at this point, they still got Clemson. They'll still have Duke, North Carolina State. Do we know if Notre Dame's going to eventually sign with the conference? Because the Big Ten and the SEC are only getting bigger. Matter of fact, the Big Ten actually surpassed SEC in total television revenue this year, total conference revenue, correct?
Yeah, they have, and I think that has a lot to do with the media markets that they cover.
Okay. Okay, I can understand that. But anyway, Phil, hope you're having a good time in Hoover. Thanks for clearing that up, guys. I just, for a second,
I love it
thought
here.
That was pretty interesting. Yeah.
It
You guys
is.
have a good one.
It is because, I mean, this was what the quote-unquote Magnificent Seven were demanding, some kind of performance-based formula to give a bigger percentage of bowl money that goes to the conference and NCAA basketball tournament revenue that goes to the conference. None of the other sports mix into this. It's just the two big money sports, college football and college men's college maybe women's college basketball is thrown into it too, but I'm not too sure.
Yeah, and so this Notre Dame does factor into it because they are in the ACC in basketball.
Right. But every other sport's not a part of this.
Nope.
So I mean, in
And
this,
they're not
in
in
this case, none of those schools made the playoff anyway this year, right? But when the whole thing expands and a dozen teams can get in, you would expect annually one or two, at least one, maybe two ACC teams, maybe three if they have a good year, get in there. But this was the only way to keep the conference from fracturing totally. And this, I don't think this is this a model that any other conference would follow?
I don't think so because maybe some of the smaller ones, but I think when you're talking about the Big Ten and the SEC, which is the only thing that really matters, their paychecks are just fine. All the schools are okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we'll see what happens if Clemson makes the championship game in football, and they also, make the Final Four.
I've decided I'm going to root for Wake Forest every football game they
Demon
play
Deacons.
in the ACC.
That's right.
I'd like Wake Forest University to become the richest school in the ACC. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Or Pitt, because that's the team I grew up rooting for. Robert has called. Hey, Robert, appreciate your call. What's going on?
Hey, Phil, Clay, and Matt. But anyway, Phil, did you call, like when you called for the Travelers, were you that enthusiastic like you are with Arkansas games?
I might have tried to be, but it's a little difficult to keep that enthusiasm for 140 games compared to maybe 56 to 70 games. But yeah, I mean, I always want the team I'm calling to win, and I would like to think, I don't remember, honest, because this was like 9 or 10 years ago, and some teams I might have enjoyed more than others, but probably let's just give it a 70% of the time, yes.
All right, well, and two, erase what Clay told you. We don't want Bubba calling no calls because he'd be all over the place. The arm and the pitch and everything, and we don't need all that. Because, like you said, procedure. Just call the game and, flat. That's the season.
Appreciate your call, Robert. Good to hear from you.
So I don't think a whole inning or whole half inning is what I would want. I would want him to call one batter than you'd pull back into your seat.
It's just, and truthfully, like, it's not rocket science. It really isn't. Bubba understands the rhythm of baseball better than most other people. Maybe probably better than I do too.
Bubba's an athlete. He'll figure it out. Yeah,
he's a smart athlete too.
Exactly.
You could do this, Matt. You could sit here and say, "Here's the pitch," and then describe what you see.
Yeah, but I like listening to you. So
yeah. You think I got a pretty voice, right?
Oh, hey. Like the way you talk, boy.
877-377-6963. Leonard in Beaver Lake texted in something that I wanted to bring up. This Paul Skeens, Hagen Smith pitching matchup. This is Ace versus.
I'm looking forward to it.
Wait a minute. He's in Beaver Lake? He's in the water?
It's a good question. Maybe he's near Beaver Lake.
He's near Beaver Lake. He's on Beaver Lake in a boat.
If he's in Beaver Lake, then he's probably got his phone in a baggie because that's the only way he's going to send us a text.
He's in an inner tube, and he's got one of those floating ice chests. That's what I think of when somebody says, I'm in Beaver Lake.
Especially this time of the year, right? Mm-hmm.
It's Memorial Day weekend. There'll be people in Beaver Lake.
Leonard, we're going to need you to give us more of a qualifier now. You're either in or on or next to. We're going to be as
Close
accurate as
to.
possible with this. This
can
is
see
ace
it from
versus
there.
ace today. It's first round versus first round. Now, Hagan is still a Razorback next year. He's not draft eligible, so he goes in the 2024 draft. He is a first-round pick. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Paul Skeens could be the top overall pick this next year. Leonard says he's on Beaver Lake.
Okay, that makes more sense.
That Phil, that kid, that 6'7" guy that gave up the home run, that fielding play he made, I want to say it was in the 9th or the 10th inning. How good is he? That's what That's what I was trying to get to. Is he a young guy that could? Because he seems like if he grows into his body, but he seemed athletic, man. He went over there, got on his knees, and made the throw to first.
That kid who gave up the home run to Diggs at Sexton.
Yeah.
He hadn't pitched in a month.
Wow.
I don't know what the deal was. If he was hurt, he'd only appeared in 3 SEC games. But, he looked like he threw hard. So did Garcia,
I thought we were going to get
second reliever.
Get an error or a base hit, and he snagged that, and I was like, there's no way that big 6'7" giraffe's going to be able to get up quick enough and throw the ball, and he just from his knees and just popped it. Yeah.
It was a great play. You're right. Leonard wondered about – this reminds him of Luke Heimlich versus Blaine Knight in the 2018 College World Series because that was ace versus ace. This is different because, well, for one thing, Heimlich never pitched professional baseball because of it wasn't accusations. It was, he was accused and I think if I remember correctly, admitted to touching a minor in a sexual way. I remember Arkansas fans really got to him in that game, and he melted away, totally melted away. But he would have been a first-round pick, chances are.
The matchup that this reminds me of is David Price versus Nick Schmidt.
Nick Schmidt, yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
And they both got no decisions.
I asked Chuck about it. I texted him earlier today, and I said, do you remember any other matchup that reminds me of this one? Because I'm also remembering Blaine Knight versus Brady Singer, Blaine Knight versus Casey Mize. Blaine Knight was not a first-round pick, but he was not a first-round pick. He was a great college pitcher, but he was not viewed by the scouts as like a can't-miss kind of a prospect. Like Mize was the overall #1 pick, and Brady Singer was a first-rounder. It's one of the things that made Blaine's season in 2018 so amazing is he beat like 3 or 4 first-round picks, and he wasn't a first-round pick. But Nick Schmidt and David Price were first-round picks, and it was known going into that game that they would be. Neither pitched all that well, but I wasn't even doing Razorback games then, and I remember that hype. That was a big one.
So, I watched that game from about the 4th row of the stands, and I sat beside David Chad, who was, at that point, vice president for Detroit Tigers. I think he's with the Phillies now. David was a known, guy that would pick out the #1 draft picks. He drafted James McCann, drafted Verlander, drafted Price. And I said, well, what makes you think Price is better than Schmidt? And David told me, he says the velo is just off the charts. And he said, we'll go with the velo over a guy that can, it's a crafty left-hander. And that's the way he viewed Schmidt.
Yep.
Isn't that interesting?
That is. And with Schmidt, he had arm surgeries that derailed his career.
But they didn't know that. They didn't know that he was having any problems at all.
David Price pitched in the major leagues for a long, long time. I think it's only been a couple of years since he retired. All right, we'll break. Alabama and Auburn are warm. We've got an Iron Bowl baseball game coming up in just a moment. The loser is eliminated from the SEC tournament, and the winner will move on to more baseball tomorrow. Arkansas LSU, the winner, moves on to the semifinals on Saturday. The loser plays Texas A&M tomorrow. 3 o'clock in the afternoon is when that game will be played. We'll step aside. We'll come back. More halftime right after this.
Tommy's Smith for Bet Saracen.
Hey, if you're like me and enjoy putting a little something on your favorite sporting event, then get Bet Saracen. Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 sports betting app. Download the app or go to betsaracen.com. Oh, and by the way, I finally upgraded my 20-year-old flip phone so I can actually play too.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV. Fishing never stops. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle is here for all your fishing needs. Starting with the Boss Cat Catfishing Tackle, Catfish Probate Terminal Tackle. Make a Wake has Todd Huckabee Ghost Rods, Bobby Garland Baits, then Beaver Bottom Baits by Redneck Rubber for all your crappie fishing trips. Plus a large selection of Daiwa rod and reels for the bass fishermen. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 1 mile east of I-540 on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. And don't forget, get your rod and reels repaired at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Happy times are almost here for Booneville. That amazing fast internet from Wave Rural Connect is coming soon. Arkansas Valley Electric members on feeders 1, 3, 5, and 8 will be available to sign up May 8th. These are internet speeds normally reserved for big cities, but available in the Booneville area, along with TV and phone service from a local provider. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
When it comes to siding and windows, the name says it all at Superior Siding and Windows. But did you know they do carports and patio covers? For over 40 years, Superior Siding and Windows has provided vinyl window replacements and all your siding solutions, including carports, patio covers, and now metal roofs. So if you have hail damage, be sure to give Superior Siding a call at 646-7888 for a free in-home estimate. Superior Siding and Windows. Like them on Facebook or visit them at superiorsidingfs.com.
It's Memorial Day weekend, and we're matching down payments up to $2,000 at Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisal. Troy, it's the perfect weekend to double up on your down payment.
Yes, definitely. You know, $2,000 turns into $4,000 off the price of one of these units out here, and that's on new and used. I mean, we've got some great deals going on right now. We've got the new inventory, plenty of vehicles in stock. We've got some great used inventory. Our used inventory is as high as it's ever been right now. So come down here and take advantage of it. Memorial Day sale, matching down payments up to $2,000.
And when you say as high as it's ever been, you're not talking about the price. You're talking about the selection right now.
Yes, definitely. You know, our selection is great right now. Matching down payments up to $2,000. That's on new and that's on used.
All right, you can't beat this weekend for the best deals. Matching down payments up to $2,000 at Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisal, and online at harryrobinson.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
I got a little change in my pocket going jingle-lang-a-lang. Wants to call you on the telephone, baby. I give you a ring, but each time we talk, I get the same old thing. Always no huggy, no kissy until I get a wedding ring. My honey, my baby, don't put my love upon no shelf. She said don't give me no lines and keep your hands to yourself. Why you wanna treat me this way? You know I'm still your lover boy. I still feel the same way. That's when she told me the story about free milk and a cow and said no huggy, no kissy until I and keep your hands to yourself.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, they're getting set for Alabama and Auburn. And where is everybody? I was expecting a bigger crowd for this because the Alabama fans showed out last night for the Florida-Alabama game. But they must have been a little bit heartbroken from that one. That was a tough one for any Crimson Tide fan to take. A team that's really ridden quite a ride and wave since the firing of Brad Bohannon and had a 3-run lead in the 11th inning last night and ended up losing on a walk-off homer by B.T. Riopel. So, yeah, they haven't all showed up. But I'm sure the ballpark will fill up soon. What? People
They're working.
Jobs? It's the SEC tournament, Clay. I don't care if they've got a job or not. They need to be here celebrating their team. It's close by.
They are not serious about baseball. They are not.
Good point.
They are not.
Serious about baseball to a point, and today might not be that point. But it's their arch rival. You got two schools that are close by here. I just thought I'd see a lot more Crimson Red and Auburn Orange.
Well,
But
just think about how many people lost money on that game last night.
That's true. The LSU fans
Including
are showing
Brad
up too
Bohannon.
already. They spend so much time here. LSU fans really, it's like they make their plans a year ahead of time. They do.
It's not that. It's not a long drive. It's pretty close.
6.5 hours, I think, is what I read.
Yep.
Little Rock is a little closer, but Fayetteville is a little farther. What'd you guys get over at Fish City Grill today? I know the folks brought the food over, and
I don't want to hear this.
Yeah, you can take your headset off if you want. I'm going to torture myself because they got a taco bar inside here for the media. So
Well, they did bring us some tacos too, but Matt Jones and I both decided to go with the salmon with some capers on top and some delicious grilled vegetables there. Man, it's good.
A little vegetable medley, carrots, tomatoes, squash, broccoli. Those capers are fire. My favorite of the olives. They're not used enough, and they sprinkled just enough on that salmon.
Are you eating 2 meals today, Matt?
You know what? I'm eyeing some tacos over there, and I am a growing boy, so we'll see what happens.
How many calories? What's the most you've ever eaten in a day? When you were playing, I'm sure you had to amass just like thousands of calories.
It didn't matter. I could eat. We'd go to. So one time we went to Clay and know this to the Catfish Hole. Is that Pat? Is that the guy's name?
Yeah,
there?
Pat Gazzola.
Yeah. So we went in there, and it was a lot of the we're freshmen or whatever, and our parents are with us. And me and my buddy Clark Moore, he's the linebacker there. We decided we were going to have an eating contest to see how many chicken strips and fish fillets you could eat. I ate 17 chicken strips, and I'm telling you what, I couldn't move. Hush puppies, fries, whatever. 17 chicken strips. That's probably my record. On that right there.
What they brought us from Fish City's healthy though today.
This was amazing.
Yeah, fish on some white rice with these vegetables.
That's great, man. Well,
so
it
what
sounds
did Clark
delicious.
He got beat. I beat him.
You beat him?
Yeah. Clark is he gave a valiant effort though.
I bet he did.
Well, I'm looking on Fish City Grill's website right now at the Fort Smith location. Their chalkboard specials. Grilled amberjack remoulade. I know they've had that for a while, and I ate that. I ate that in studio with you guys once. That's really good. Shrimp tempura tacos, probably the tacos they brought you. Sriracha tarragon sauce, pickled carrots and celery, Thai chili aioli, and cilantro lime rice. Only $14.99. They've got char-grilled wild copper river salmon for $34.99. I think you got that right now, huh? Ahi tuna for $21.99, and redfish Nola for $24.99. That is at Fish City Grill. Even have, I closed the special before I could read this one. They've got Thrasher Shark for $24.99. Have you ever eaten shark before?
Not one time have I. I've had alligator.
I don't think I've ever had the opportunity to eat shark.
I've had shark.
Is it tough?
Is it like chicken?
It needs to be, as they say, it needs to be dressed up and properly prepared. These guys can do it, I'm sure.
Well, they grill it, so
yeah,
maybe that's the way to do it. Okay.
It's got a little
give that
taste
try.
to it.
Always have a great meal at Fish City Grill.
They never let
locations
you down.
In Fort Smith or Rogers, fishcitygrill.com for more information. We appreciate Joey and the crew bringing Food over. Matt Jones, Matt Travis, have yourselves a meal. You want to get on with us here on halftime, 877-377-6963. Kirk and Marshall is, he says you're a legend, Matt, because of 17 chicken strips.
That is quite a feat.
Well, it's the first and only time I did that because it was 6, 7 o'clock. We're walking out to the car to go back to the dorm room. I was like, Clark, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I don't think I'll be able to make it there.
See, I don't see Matt Jones as really like a fried food type eating guy. Like, I don't really see you downing a lot of hush puppies on a regular basis.
Oh, when I was 18, 19,
back in the day. Okay.
Give me some unsweet
bottomless
tea.
pit.
Yeah,
Bottomless pit.
Give me 14 hush puppies, barbecue sauce, honey mustard sauce.
Dude, let me take you back. Let me take you back to the summer of 1995. My first job in professional baseball. 18 years old, never been in the South. Worked for a team in Fayetteville, North Carolina. That's where I was introduced to sweet tea and hush puppies that weren't from Long John Silver's.
The good hush puppies, yeah.
The real hush puppies, that's right. They have Long John Silver's hush puppies in Pittsburgh. But there was a buffet called Chasen's, never forget it, Lumber Bridge, North Carolina. 4 rooms of food, $6 all you can eat, add $1 for all the sweet tea you can drink. I had the 18-year-old appetite. I had the 18-year-old body. That stuff just went right through me in a good way. And yeah, that's where I learned about catfish. That's where I learned about, not chicken strips, but, all of the – that's where I learned that mac and cheese is actually a vegetable. That was a special place.
I thought it was a pasta. Yeah, it is a vegetable, though.
It's a vegetable in the South, as
right.
far as I know. If you're a side, if you're not a main dish, you're a vegetable.
You get the beans, too, with the cornbread or the hush puppies, whatever you're going. But a lot of beans – I like the beans as well.
Kelly also texted in and said he can't eat anything that includes the word medley in the description.
Medley.
But what about it? He says he would wear out the taco bar, but a taco bar is a taco medley. So just change the wording. You can eat a medley. Just put the word taco in front of it. You're
Squash
fine.
is in season right now, too.
Let's break. Hour number 2 of halftime concludes right after this.
Oh, cherry, baby. You see, I love you. You don't believe I know. Why don't you try me? Never gonna let you down, no. If I make you wear no frown. You say you love me madly. Then why do you treat me badly? Oh,
Everybody's life is a journey, their own personal adventure, where every direction has a new trail to explore. Sometimes a little rough, sometimes a little muddy, but always exciting. So no matter which way you go, know this: that trail you're on is far too short to compromise.
Your next adventure starts at AutofindersOK.com.
Art's Barbecue and Burgers has the best burger in town. And every Saturday, enjoy any burger at Art's and get $1 off. Try Art's Bacon Cheeseburger, topped with house-smoked bacon, or the Art Attack with bacon, ham, and a fried egg. And all of Art's burgers come with a mound of fresh-cut fries, or upgrade to Art's homemade onion rings. $1 off all burgers every Saturday at Art's Barbecue and Burgers, 8203 Rogers Avenue, next to Aaron's in Fort Smith.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics? Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Call Randy Milam in Alma or Brandon Zimmerman in Bartley.
Precision Overhead Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all of your overhead door needs. Fully licensed and insured, with locations in Rogers and Fort Smith, serving all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Give them a call today at 844-PDS-DOOR or online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Back-to-back winners of the Best of Award, Gold Best Garage Company in Northwest Arkansas, and also winners of the River Valley Precision Overhead Door.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit patriottransport.com to apply. That's patriottransport.com.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work. Real work. Working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Here's to you and yours from your friends at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. Hey, warmer weather is with us, and that means fun in the outdoors. Whether you're in the boat, onshore enjoying a picnic, or attending a family celebration, In Good Spirits can provide you with the tastiest adult beverages in town. And don't forget to treat yourself as you listen to the game. In Good Spirits, Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Save hundreds of dollars on new and pre-owned Chevrolets right now at Road Chevrolet Van Buren. The recent severe weather brought hail to our vehicles, and that means savings for you. Take advantage of these savings now while they last, only at Road Chevrolet in Van Buren. Our loss is your gain. These units gotta go, so get to Road Chevrolet now for the best selection. See dealer for details about inventory and savings. Road Chevrolet in Van Buren and RoadChevy.com. Prices you'll love. People you can trust.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Say, ride, Sally, ride. That's all you gotta do. Wipe your weeping eyes. I tell you, just shake it to the east now, baby. Yeah, just shake it to the west now, baby. Hey, baby, just shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
So I heard Clay on the Morning Rush this morning. You're joking with Tommy Kraft about how craft distilleries and beers should be paying him a royalty, or at least he said he should have a royalty. Because there's millions of different craft beers and craft liquors
cocktails
now, craft cocktails all over the place. Tommy's never done a thing about that, which is surprising considering the businessman that he is.
They got that Jones soda.
There is a Jones soda. You're exactly right about that. There are only.
They got the O. Henry bar. You know,
I ordered an Arnold Palmer recently. Now I would have felt weird calling it a Virgin Arnold Palmer. But I didn't. I've always expected. There's no booze in it anyway.
I can do an Arnold Palmer if the tea's unsweet, because if you go sweet tea and lemonade, it's too much. You got to go unsweet tea with the lemonade. Yeah.
Tom Collins is a decent drink that's named for a human being that works too. What about? So a couple of days ago was Tommy John's 80th birthday. There is no other person in the world who is more famous because of a surgery named after him than Tommy John. If anybody knows of anyone else, let me know who it is, because I can't think of it.
You got the
who was the surgeon in South Africa that did the first open heart surgery? There was
Dr. Open Heart. Was that his name?
No, but he was pretty famous.
Lonely Hearts Club.
I don't know who it was.
Yeah, Phil, I got a beef.
Daniel Hell Williams.
There you go.
I don't think it's named for him.
I've got a beef. I've got to get something off my chest. It bothered me last night while I was watching Ben McDonald. They're showing the Florida Gators, all getting off their bus, and they're walking in, and he goes, "There comes the overall champs."
Oh, really?
Yep.
Did he say anything? Now, he wasn't doing –
He didn't say
he was on the air
co-champs.
for the Razorback games. Well, I don't think they refer to him as co-champs. It's like a share of a champion. And it's weird, too, because somebody pointed out this to me as well. Why would a league that does co-players of the year, co-coaches of the year, co-players of the week, and all that kind of thing not use the term co-champion? Because they don't use the term co-champion. You should always throw in the rejoinder champions with the other team, I guess. I'll let Ben know about that.
They shared the overall championship.
Yeah, share of the championship is the way that I've referred to it.
But you tell him that I cringed.
I'll make sure that I go over and tell him.
I might have done more than cringe.
I'd like to put you and Ben McDonald in the same room, Matt.
Well, I'd be looking up to him.
Yeah, two guys that I'd be looking up to. You and he actually have kind of the same body type.
They have. So you got the Manu Ginobili, and you got the Ginobili energy drink. So that'd be pretty cool, right? Yeah.
Yeah, there you go, man.
Is that named for him?
Yeah, hot tub time machine. You got to have the Ginobili to get back. I mean, that's it. Yeah,
I'd forgotten about that. That's right. You remember Stephon Marbury made a shoe called Starberry?
Now Starburst should have got into that. He should have went in there somewhere with the Starburst.
They were too worried about beast mode and not being fine, just being there. So
Hillman, Dominique Wilkins are two American legends. Dominique's a Hall of Famer. I don't think Stephon is. That went overseas and won a title. They couldn't get that elusive NBA championship ring, but they went over there and were able to get rings over there, so that's pretty cool.
What sandwich would you like to have named after you, Matt? Like the Matt Jones Reuben or something like that?
Oh, I like a BLT with an egg.
The Matt Jones BLT with an egg.
Yeah, with the purple onion.
Matt Jones likes a vegetable medley. You're going to have the
squash,
Jones medley thrown in there. That's what it is.
Let's get some veggies.
Bobby Garland had the Baby Shad named for him. It's the #1 soft plastic cropper lure in the United States.
Wow.
Fish it on a light jig head or underneath the float. You're going to find it's productive as live bait. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad never fit any perfectly into a segment. Halftime is right back.
Hi, it's Ben from Wow World of Wireless, your local Dish Premier retailer. Are you a DirecTV customer? Upgrade to Dish and get a $300 prepaid MasterCard. Just mention offer code DTV to Dish. And that's not all. With Dish and Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Upgrade to Dish from DirecTV today. Never run out of space again and get a $300 prepaid MasterCard when you mention offer code DTV to Dish. Visit us our new location at 601 Church Street in Barling next to Frank Rowe Furniture, or call us today at 877-305-DISH to learn more and make the switch to Dish. That's 877-305-3474.
Offer in 7/12/23. Monthly equipment fees, eligibility requirements, and restrictions apply. Call for full details. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria is the #1 place to watch every Arkansas baseball game this season. During every Hog baseball game, you'll get 2 $2 domestics at Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. For to-go orders, give them a call at 479-783-9941. Find their menu at papaspub.com. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. The best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. Our high this afternoon will be into the lower 80s. Tonight, mainly clear and overnight low, upper 50s to lower 60s. Friday, a bounty of sunshine. Our high on Friday will be in the lower 80s. And Saturday, sunny skies. Our high right around 80 degrees. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 100 days. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope, hold the rope, hold the rope. I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man.
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones. Hold the rope, hold the rope, hold the rope on three. 1, 2, 3. Turn that down, beautiful.
Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
I've been informed that the Arkansas LSU game can start no earlier than 4:32. That's good to know. Because who knows if this Alabama-Auburn game moves along fast. It's 1-1 in the second inning. So, 3 hours until we get on the air for Arkansas baseball, the Dugout Show, no matter what. Phil Elson here at the Hoover Met, Matt Jones and Matt Travis at the ESPN Arkansas headquarters, and Clay Henry with us as well as we get into our final hour of halftime for the day. LSU and Arkansas, these teams have met in some pretty important games in the SEC tournament. I went back and looked. They hadn't played A&M in the SEC tournament in, I think it was 9 or 10 years until yesterday. In that time, Arkansas has lost 6 consecutive Hoover games to the Tigers. Last time was the 2018 semis. LSU beat the Razorbacks for the tournament championship in 2017. Arkansas got run ruled day 3 in 2015, lost twice to the Tigers in 2014, and lost in the semis in 2013. That's 6 consecutive SEC tournament games that Arkansas has lost to LSU. And I wonder sometimes, most of the history of Arkansas against LSU are Tiger wins. It's just been in the last few years that things have changed a little bit. The Tigers beat Arkansas 2 out of 3 this year. I think a lot of that was because those games were played at Tiger Stadium in front of their fans. I've seen a lot of Razorback fans here in Hoover in the few days I've been here, and they're going to show out here for this game today as best as they can, but they'll still be outnumbered 9-1. It's I remember the 2017 championship game was a highlight for me. It was a great game. It was I love that 2017 team. That's really the team that started the run that this program is on now for 7 straight years. And the LSU fans, you could see a little bit of red dotted throughout the crowd, but it's gold and purple here, and it's starting to look that way now, even in the Auburn-Alabama game. You can say what you want about LSU fans, and I joke about them and everything, corn dogs and all that sort of stuff, but they're good baseball fans. They love their team, they know the sport, and they're never silent. Never silent. It's amazing.
Phil, it's interesting that it's a little bit like Kentucky basketball, and at Kentucky, there's 4 million, 5 million people in Kentucky. all of them would like to have season tickets in Rupp, but they can't. They're like Masters tickets. Those tickets are gone, and they're not. Nobody's going to get any seats up. They're not going to give them up. The good seats in Alex Box Stadium are all bought on annual basis. But there's people that they can't get in the good seats, but they know they can go to Hoover and get good seats.
Mm-hmm.
And Arkansas fans are starting to get that way too. They cannot get the good seats at Baum, but they can get good seats in Hoover. And that's made a difference of late in the crowds that I see going to Hoover from Arkansas.
Clay, some folks thought that the change in the way the tickets were sold for Baum Walker this year would change the atmosphere some. And therefore that might change how the team plays at that ballpark. And that hasn't worked itself out necessarily. The atmosphere might be a little bit different at times because there are games that that all the tickets are sold, but some of those seats behind home plate or by the dugouts that used to be filled at 100% or what felt like close to it aren't quite like that now. And it's no reason to get into why they made the change and all of that. We just know that the seating arrangements are different this year than they were for like the previous 20 years. But the team still wins. Where it's amazing, the hog pen, the thing with the hog pen has really taken off. Like, it's been a thing for a long time, but there's something a little bit different about it that I've picked up on in like the last 4 years. The flags all waving and the potato flag. And, it's just the personalities out there kind of help with what the atmosphere of the ballpark has turned into. And I know there's a lot of great fans down the first base line that would say they've got a lot to do with the atmosphere, and that's true. But the atmosphere changed a little bit this last year. This year's team played better at home than last year's team did. And you never can quite figure out why that's the case.
Yeah, I think partly what you see is the early season crowds aren't as big. But once you get into late April and May when the weather is good, all those seats seem to be filled. And maybe that's sad that some of the people don't use their seats all the time, but that's just the nature of a lot of things, I guess. But I thought for the South Carolina series that they were difference makers. And I think if you ask Brad Bohannon, who is probably nowhere to be found right now, he'd tell you that the crowd made a difference in that Sunday game for sure.
Yeah, I've thought about that. Watching Alabama play as well as they've played ever since he was fired. It kind of started. It started with that series against Vanderbilt. The day he was fired, they went out and they pasted Vanderbilt, won the series 2 out of 3, and have been really kind of hot ever since. And I've wondered, like, if you're Brad Bohannon, can you even walk out of the house? I'm assuming he's still in Tuscaloosa. He's been fired, but what's next? You got to worry about your freedom.
He's out of baseball.
Is the next thing for good. He's never going to have another baseball job again, and his next job might be, making license plates in a federal prison.
That's correct. Yep, what he's done is despicable, and I don't think that's the end of what happens with college sports and gambling. It's just inevitable. I don't think it's that's just the nature of what happens.
I've wondered about how a team rallies around a certain thing. Like when we talk about this Arkansas baseball team, Matt, they say they're playing for each other. I've seen other teams that played well because they rallied around their dislike of the coach. It's kind of like winning in spite of the coach, but they rallied around each other because of that.
Yeah, usually that's not the way to go. But it really is weird when what happens to get the kids all to band together if it is a special circumstance. We had a guy one year, and sometimes I guess what's hard to do is sustain it. You can do it for one game. Something happens, you kind of come together, but then it kind of brings you back to earth. So it's hard to sustain it, and they've been able to do that.
They are ultra talented. I can remember talking to Dave Van Horn maybe 2 weeks before the SEC season started. We did a big sit-down deal, and he goes, "Well, I'll talk about the first 3 weekends." Well, Alabama was in that, first 3 weekends. And he said, Alabama, their players, we recruited all of them. Now, they may not have offered all of them, but they recruited them to a point, and then you get your commitment. You walk away from some guys. You can't take them all. If you recruit 40, and you're going to sign 15 to 18, but you don't know who's going to commit, so you string them along for a little while, and then once you do, you say, hey, we got our 2 catchers, or we got our 5 left-handed bats, or we got our we got all our pitching. But he said that we recruited every one of their players. They're that talented. I don't think Dave's surprised by how they've played.
I like Pinckney, their right fielder. I like him a lot.
Oh, he's got some pop, doesn't he?
He's got a great arm, covers a lot of ground in the outfield. I mean, it looks like there's something to build with there, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's I don't know about first rounder, but I think they're looking at him, and I think he'll have a future.
Everybody will be glad when Seidel is gone.
Yeah, he's a good player too.
He's
but
a lot of big hits.
It didn't necessarily lead to like that many wins, and even the coach didn't believe in them because our Friday night pitcher's not pitching. We're facing the number 1 team in the country, so I'm going to help my buddy out or make a little money on this myself, and that's different from. I mean, sometimes you feel like a coach doesn't like a team. I've been around guys like that. It's just might try to stay positive and everything. But I had a minor league manager with the Travelers who then went into college baseball, and it was our worst team. It was the 2002 team. They were terrible. And he took it out on him. I mean, he was like, if we're going to play this bad, then we're going to spend the month of August working on every little thing that we can do to get better. And it's like, all right, so he's calling early batting practice at 100 degrees on August the 15th when you're 78 games out of first place and the guys are just counting down to the season ending, and he's going to make them better. He took it out on the team is what I felt there. And the team responded by playing incredibly poorly.
They played like dogs.
I don't know if it was on purpose, but sometimes it felt like it. But that's even different than you know what? Our coach bet against us. Yeah, our coach just bet against us. We're going to show him.
Yep, and he did. That's exactly what he did. He bet against him.
Don't bet against him. Not going to bet against I'm not going to bet against the Alabama Crimson Tide because I'm not going to bet. That's just a fact.
How good is the Florida play? We didn't see him during the regular season. I just watched him on TV last night.
Cags. They call him Cags, yeah. Two-way player, too. Really, he's a good pitcher as well.
The shortstop.
Rivera
pitchers.
Short, yeah. They've got a bunch of first rounders on that team. That's
I was going to say a bunch of. They've got at least 4 or 5.
Yeah, that's a really talented team, and I don't think Arkansas would see Florida until, maybe the semifinals, depending on how things shake out. But that could be a team you play for the tournament championship, and then another. It's like you say, any of the teams that are playing later on today: LSU, Arkansas, Florida, Vanderbilt. Hello, this is an Omaha preview. The College World Series isn't starting for another 3 weeks. Watch these games later tonight because they're kind of a preview of the College World Series. 877-377-6963 to get with us on halftime. Lunchtime, still lunchtime. All day long is lunchtime sometimes. Get over to CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers, either their Fayetteville location, Weddington Avenue. I think I've been saying Weddington Road recently. I think I've been saying it the wrong way. Weddington Avenue, right there that's less than a mile west off the interstate. And then in Russellville, at the Arkansas Avenue exit, CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers, the best fries, the best shakes, anywhere in the state of Arkansas. So let them know we sent you over there. A little bacon on it, pepper jack, fry sauce. Going to have yourself a good time. When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best. CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers, butcherboyburger.com, or use their app to order at the Fayetteville location. Calls and texts on halftime come in at 877-377-6963. I'm going to go get a look at the taco medley over here, and we'll come right back.
And you may ask yourself, how do I work this? And you may ask yourself, where is that large automobile? And you may tell yourself, this is not my beautiful house. And you may tell yourself, this is not my beautiful wife. Letting the days go by, let the water hold me out. Letting the days go by, water flowing underground into the blue.
Here's the 1-1. Swung on, skied into left. That ball's hit pretty well. It is gone. Brett Eibner's hit a home run and the ball game's tied. Brett Eibner has hit a home run. his troubles this season.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Rockwell and Orwell are both known for their work from 1984. It's no conspiracy that somebody's watching me, because the terms and agreements that no one reads is the reason there's no privacy. Big Tech is tracking every move you make and is starting to control society and how you participate. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, and Revelation 13 describes a mark for those who fall for this utopian dream. I'm Pastor E from Woodland. Read about it.
BetOnline.ag is your #1 source for all your basketball info, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest player reports for this year's pro basketball playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters this season, as we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. Basketball, MLB, NHL hockey, right down to UFC and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games you can play right from your home. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BLEAV. BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
When you stay overnight, you want the accommodations to feel comfortable and feel like home. Well, at Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, you get exactly that. You can check out all their locations at bphotels.com. They have locations in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Conway, El Dorado, Arkadelphia, North Little Rock, Bryant, Hot Springs.
listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
So the SEC baseball tournament is going to be held in Hoover, Alabama until the end of time, I think. I'm pretty sure they extended the contract a few years because there was talk a number of years, maybe 5-6 years ago, about Memphis, New Orleans, Nashville maybe, and then they ended up keeping it in Hoover. I think they might be looking to move it once the league expands, and I think Globe Life Field would be a nice place for it. But until then, it's going to be here. Did you guys see that the future NFL draft site was chosen for 2025?
Where are they going?
Going to Green Bay, Wisconsin, for the 2025 NFL draft.
You could have snow.
It'd be nice that time of year.
Potentially so.
No, you can have snow in Wisconsin in
April.
April.
You're right, Clay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you hold the draft right there on the lake and amplify? Because, I mean, when you think of Green Bay, what are you thinking? You're thinking Packers football. You're thinking frozen tundra.
Cheeseheads.
You're thinking cheeseheads. That's right. It's in Detroit this next year. Well, next year. 2024 is in downtown Detroit, which I haven't been to downtown Detroit for a long time. And I'm sure there's a section of the city downtown there that's really good to have a draft. So Detroit next year. Why are we doing this in the same division? Why are they?
Are they doing Chicago in a couple years? Soldier Field?
I don't know.
In 2026, maybe. Yeah.
I don't know. But Chicago's probably angling for it. Now there are many more cities that are trying to
Chicago would be a great place.
Super Bowl. Chicago wants to build a new football stadium.
Do you know
That's the whole
they had
reason
it in
that
Las
Kevin
Vegas,
Warren's been
right?
hired.
To get the Super Bowl, you have to give so much. Have you seen some of the requests that the NFLPA, the NFL, that they have when it's coming out for it, man?
No, tell me, what are you seeing?
Well, like you got to be able to have both golf courses. You know, they got like all the little luxury things that they have. Like there's a lot of lists of stuff when you look. It's like they're a rock star. You know, it's like you should feel grateful and thankful that I'm coming to your city because I'm helping your economy. Like they really have this ego about them. They won't pay halftime artists anymore. They're like, you're coming up on this stand and on this medium. We don't have to give you any money because your sales are going to go up 60% by just being on our medium.
There's only a certain amount of cities that can host the Super Bowl. You've got to have a big enough stadium. It's probably got to be domed now. At least it feels like that. And, you know, it's going to be one of the major cities in the country. You're not going to have the Super Bowl in Green Bay.
you think they can have it in London? When are we going to have one in Europe?
That's a really
we're going
interesting
that way,
question.
huh? They'll give enough money.
Isn't every team playing a game in Europe next
like
year
over
or
a 5
in the
year,
next couple of years?
Yeah, you're supposed to. Yeah.
That's an interesting idea. I hadn't thought about that. Could you have now the Super Bowl is always at a neutral site theoretically? Didn't the Rams play it at home site a couple years ago?
Well, they won it in L.A. You're right, and so did Tampa. Didn't Tampa win it in Tampa Bay as well? The thing is back-to-back years.
The ultimate neutral site would be London. Really, it would, wouldn't it?
I mean, Americans fans they would throw a fit. They would throw an absolute fit if.
Well, we make a trade-off. You play the Champions League. You play the EPL final here in the United States. I'm sure you're in for it.
We'll sign that up right now.
Well, I figure they'll play in Azteca.
Mexico City, yeah.
Yeah, that would be interesting, wouldn't it?
130,000 seats.
Toronto would be a great place. They got a big old dome. I mean, that would be fun too.
They like American football in Toronto. It's practically, it's a home base for the well, not a home base, but a lot of Buffalo Bills fans are there.
How much would the Saudis pay to have it?
Oh my goodness!
As much as they took Live Golf, they would pay that times 10.
Yeah, they wouldn't keep score. They'd just say you're all winners.
Bottomless pit there anyway. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Here, everybody gets the same amount of money to not win.
Yeah.
Clay, you're right. Vegas hosts it next year, Allegiant Stadium next year. Then it's the Superdome, and then it's Levi Stadium in San Francisco. That was the most recent awarding of the Super Bowl. Levi's is not domed, is not domed. So where have they played it recently? I mean, you've had it at SoFi, domed. Tampa is not a domed stadium.
Is Levi the new Candlestick Park? Is that what you're saying
right.
out there?
Okay. Yeah. It's in.
Usually pretty good weather, though.
Right. I mean, they had crappy weather at Candlestick Park, but they didn't it's different, I think, at that part. So they've played one Super Bowl there already, and the field was maligned. It was supposed to be a really poor field. I think the same thing what you heard from the Arizona Stadium. They played at the home of the Cardinals this last year.
Chunks were coming up, yeah.
Yeah, there were huge chunks that were coming up. So you remember the first time they played a Super Bowl in the Bay Area, California, it was the famous Dolphins, Niners, Joe Montana, Dan Marino Super Bowl.
When Dan Marino was a rookie?
It was his second year.
Second year, sorry. Yeah, wow. And then he never made it back. I don't remember that Super Bowl. What happened?
I still remember it. The Niners blew him out.
Yeah.
It wasn't really much of a game.
Mark Duper.
Mark Clayton.
Yeah.
I was at the AFC Championship game that year in Miami at the age of 7. The Dolphins pasted the Steelers, who were quarterbacked by Mark Malone. And then it was 2 Western Pennsylvania guys, Montana, who's from Monaca, if I remember, and Marino, who's from right there in Pittsburgh, went up against each other. And you're like, well, this is a Super Bowl matchup we're going to see 8 or 9 times, right?
Mm-hmm.
Saw it once. And they played it at Stanford Stadium.
The farm.
That's right. They played it on the farm. They played it at the
Nice.
home of the Stanford Cardinal. Because Candlestick, it was bigger than Candlestick. And they valued the number of seats, which I think were about 80,000. Candlestick held, I think, in the 60s. We got Alabama scoring a run on a sac fly to take a 2-1 lead here in the third inning. Here, the Alabama fans enjoying that. Is that the last time that a Super Bowl was played at a college stadium? Because I know Tulane hosted a Super Bowl, I think, with the Steelers and the Vikings, and the only reason that was the case was because the Superdome was still under construction, and the construction had been delayed.
They didn't get it
so
done.
they had to play the Super Bowl at Tulane Stadium. But they scheduled it at Stanford Stadium that year, and I don't remember them playing a Super Bowl at a college stadium since.
Phil, you ever been to Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania?
I might have driven through it or something. It's not like one of those. That's where Namath is from.
Also where Kevin Scanlon's from.
I've been to Beaver, Pennsylvania. I don't think Beaver Falls is exactly the same place.
You got to have 70,000 seats to host a Super Bowl. That's their prereq.
Well, yeah. So 70,000 seats. There's plenty of stadiums that can do that, but it's got to be. I mean, really now, it's got to be new. It's got to be new. I mean, you put a big roof over Hard Rock
Lots of
Stadium.
premium seats.
That's exactly right. So Nashville, I mean, Chicago wants a Super Bowl. That's a reason that they're building a new stadium. That's why Kevin Warren took the job with the Bears. Nashville wants a Super Bowl. That's why they're putting $1.5 billion into a new stadium downtown. New York got a Super Bowl, and they did that by building a new football stadium. They weren't going to host it at the old Giants Stadium. They put it in the new one. And truthfully, I think going to a Super Bowl would be a lot of fun, but I also think it might be a little bit of a hassle.
Got a question for Matt.
Shoot, Matt.
Yo.
Roger Goodell just got or was about to get a new contract for about another 100 years. What did the players think of Roger Goodell?
It's probably 50-50, and I would say, Clay, that I would say as far as me, and so I didn't understand. I guess I don't understand his full job title. He's like, well, what is he really doing?
Czar.
That's it. And so what's really going on behind the scenes? It's so me, I really don't get it. I don't understand.
Well, Goodell, I think now, like Adam Silver, I don't think is viewed as – he's not viewed the same way that David Stern was viewed. The NBA is still popular, but TV ratings are going down, and you kind of sometimes view it like that. Rob Manfred is not a popular commissioner. I don't remember the last baseball commissioner that was popular.
No,
maybe
I don't
Giamatti.
think so.
That's the last one. Bettman has been the NHL commissioner for, it's like 30, 35 years now. I don't think he's really popular either, but Goodell has kind of become, I think, compared to what he used to be, more popular.
Well, and at the time, Clay, I guess to answer your question better is you kind of felt like he was on the side of the front office.
The owners.
He wasn't on the player side. That would be where that's kind of how the feeling was.
That would be
Players Association battled him for every inch.
You didn't think he was on your side, and so
that
it was
would be
kind of
every single commissioner in the history of sports. They've never been on the player's side.
No. Well, of course, they're hired by the owners.
That's why I don't even like the word commissioner. Because when you're the commissioner, then you're supposed to be the commissioner of the entire sport. All right, well, then who owns the sport? Obviously, the owners of the teams own the sport. It's not the players, unfortunately. They're business partners when it comes into this. And the commissioners, they don't represent the players. The unions represent the players. And then they negotiate with the commissioners. So it's funny. The baseball commissioner was the first one that I know of. And he's supposed to be able to act, quote, and Clay, you know this, in the best interests of the game.
Yeah,
that's
right.
a bunch of bull crap. He's supposed to act in the best interests of the owners. and I think that's a poorly kept secret. Very poorly kept secret.
It's just not true. Yeah.
Greg Sankey is the commissioner of the Southeastern Conference. So who owns the Southeastern Conference? Well, the schools do. Right?
He works for the schools.
He works for the schools.
I would say that the commissioners in the SEC have, you go back to Slive and to Kramer, I think they have acted what's in the best interest for the league and done really well. It's the best brand in football. I mean, Big Ten might be catching them a little bit as far as revenue, but the SEC brand is the deal.
Look at what's going on with the TV deal now with the Big Ten, and it's in the weeds stuff. But the schools are upset. They're probably not even going to give Kevin Warren the bonus that he was due in his contract
right.
because of some of the details that have been left out of this TV contract, and they're forcing teams to, like Michigan State. They moved their game against Penn State to Ford Field for a nighttime because they wanted to play indoors. And Tommy reminded me of this the other day. Why do the Big Ten teams not want to play night games in November?
It's cold.
East Lansing in November at night.
Bitter.
I've been there. It's
Bitter.
freezing. So they're going to play a night game in Ford Field indoors. That's Kevin Warren's fault. That's why this is happening. The ACC is ready to tear itself apart, so much so that half the league is threatening that they want more money for the teams that do better in postseason. Well, that's happening now. The Pac-12 has no television contract. They're barely a league right now. The Big 12 is the only one that's really that's growing, and the SEC is over here like, yeah, we're doing just fine. Everybody's kind of happy here. It's
and the Big 12 is going to play in Mexico.
Yeah. So Greg Sankey is the best I think he's the most powerful person in college sports. I think he's a main reason why this league is as well run as it is. We got a break. 877-377-6963 to get with us on halftime. Big thanks to our sponsors for our coverage of the SEC tournament all week long. Resort TV, Cable, and Hot Springs. You switch to Cable Links broadband, you'll boost your internet, plus give your wallet a break. If you sign up before the end of May, Cable Links is going to double your speeds. That's Cable Links, thanks to Resort TV Cable in Hot Springs. 877-377-6963 into the home stretch here on halftime. Getting really fired up for Arkansas versus LSU. Hagen Smith versus Paul Skeens. Two first-rounders going up against each other. Going to be a great game. And we'll get into that a little bit more on halftime.
ESPN Arkansas and Phil Elsener live in Hoover, Alabama at the 2023 SEC Baseball Tournament. Our coverage is presented by Resort TV Cable and Hot Springs. Sign up in May and we'll double your speeds by June 1st. By Beckert. Beckert and Van Buren is now hiring for junior electrical project engineer and electrical engineer.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Rockwell and Orwell are both known for their work from 1984. It's no conspiracy that somebody's watching me, because the terms and agreements that no one reads is the reason there's no privacy. Big tech is tracking every move you make and is starting to control society and how you participate. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, and Revelation 13 describes a mark for those who fall for this utopian dream. I'm Pastor E from Woodland. Read about it.
BetOnline.ag is your #1 source for all your basketball info, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest player reports for this year's pro basketball playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters this season, as we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. Basketball, MLB, NHL hockey, right down to UFC and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games you can play right from your home. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BLEAV. BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
When you stay overnight, you want the accommodations to feel comfortable and feel like home. Well, at Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, you get exactly that. You can check out all their locations at bphotels.com. They have locations in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Conway, El Dorado, Arkadelphia, North Little Rock, Bryant, Hot Springs, Ardmore, Oklahoma, and coming soon to Kansas City. bphotels.com. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, looking forward to serving you in 2023.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the football, basketball, and baseball game?
ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Good day to be wearing shorts at the Hoover Met. No jeans of any kind. No white jeans, that's for sure. Bubba wanted to color coordinate yesterday, so I made sure to tell him when I got here, two things. One, get here early because the LSU fans are going to show up, and they're going to show up earlier than anybody else. And I'm wearing shorts, so I'm sure that means he's going to wear shorts too. Matt, do you guys ever coordinate what you're wearing in studio for the show?
Actually, I would message him if I remember when you each got us the green hats from that giveaway that day. We make sure that we don't wear the same green hat on the same day because we don't want to clash.
And we've definitely talked about it because I will not wear shorts to work. And Matty T.
And I insist on
He
it.
said he'll wear shorts to work, and I was like, I just can't do it. Yeah.
Have you seen couples that wear matching shirts?
Like
All the
thing
time.
one and thing two.
Well, like my wife makes for our honeymoon and our wedding, we had,
Aw.
she makes a husband, 2023, wife 2023.
How
And I know
cute.
that's
We're
not
honeymoon.
necessarily that's not your style, Maddie, but you don't have a choice.
I mean, you've known me long enough, Phil, to know there's a time then you would have never caught me dead doing anything like that, wearing something like that. But
yes, but then I catch you married, and I'm like,
Exactly,
you don't have a choice
I
in
don't
that
know.
case.
It comes with
Clay,
the-
did
As
you
they
ever color
say-
coordinate with Miss Jean Ann?
No.
Tie with a sports jacket with
We
her
might
dress or
both
something.
wear
Yeah.
jeans to dinner. Like we may decide this is jeans night, but the tops will be different. But it's as far as the things that we do, together, the decisions we made. We made a rule before we got married that she'd make the little decisions and I'd make the big decisions. Well, 44 years later, we haven't gotten to a big decision yet.
Fair enough.
That's impressive.
I like it. Yeah.
If there's a 44-year streak of no big decisions,
You're living right. Yeah, you're living good.
You have made it.
In other words,
you've
she's made all the decisions.
What's George Strait
Phil.
said? Living, yeah.
Well,
living well.
I'm the one who's Matt and I are both divorced, so there you go. Maybe
Yeah,
there
well,
were
you
some
got the-
big decisions along the line.
It's like the San Francisco Bay, throw it away. I mean, there's some George Strait songs about everything.
Good point. Good point. Did you guys see the Florida-Georgia game is still going to be held in Jacksonville through 2026?
The world's largest cocktail party. You got to have it. Every year they had that, Phil. When I was in Jacksonville, we had an away game. So all 4 years I was there, you never played the same time they were playing. But it would be crowded. You would see how, it's more of a college town. And Tebow was doing his thing a little bit then. But Florida, man, there was a lot of Florida Gator fans there.
Jacksonville's a college town? Is that?
Oh,
I mean, you
it's a
lived there.
college.
I never
It's a
lived
college town. They couldn't sell out the stadium. We won 12 games one year and they couldn't sell out the stadium. Man, they were blacking it out a little bit. It's a college town. It's a beach town. It's a beautiful city. They got other things to do.
I read something recently that they were going to be putting in like a 2-year construction plan to remake the stadium. I think Jacksonville hosted a Super Bowl once.
The year
remember?
2000. Yeah, it was 04. It was the year before I got there. Yep.
Didn't they have to park some? I think there were some giant cruise ships that were used as lodging because there might not have been enough hotel rooms in the city.
Big naval base there. There's big, yeah. I mean, big port city. It's one of the biggest ports there. So I believe you.
Well, I thought that the cocktail party was headed back to campus sites just for 2 years because they were going to be rebuilding the stadium. But now I see this contract is signed through 2026. So maybe they're going to, I don't know, Clay, maybe they're going to rebuild the stadium in 2027.
I've always thought of Jacksonville, and you say college town. I just thought it was a golf town.
Clay, there is a golf. The coolest thing, me and some of my buddies, my golfing buddies, Monday there's a special on some golf course. Tuesdays there's a special, meaning it's $100 to play. You get it half off, and that's how we picked out what course we were going to.
Did you ever go down to Sawgrass?
Absolutely.
Ponte Vedra is just an awesome place.
World Golf Village there with the Slammer and Squire and the King and the Bear.
Yeah,
they had
one of the coolest places. I mean, that's a vacation
absolutely
bucket list
manicured,
place.
nice. The ball sits up nice for you, and you leave. When you get done playing that type of course, Clay, you think you're kind of good, because it's kind of one of those resort course feels to it.
There was I had a really good friend of mine that went to school in Jacksonville. There's a community college there. Back then it was called FCCJ. I don't know if that's what it's called anymore. But I went and visited him there once. I didn't realize how big of a city it is. In fact, I think Jacksonville, Florida, might be the largest city in the United States by square miles. Were you aware of this, Matt, when you lived there?
It's the 16th. My real estate lady told me that. It's like the 16th or 19th square mileage-wise acreage in America. Yeah, it's
lots
16
of water
or 19
in
or
the city,
something.
too,
You had Jack's Beach, you had downtown, you had Orange Park. You had it was divided up into sections, and it'd take you 30 minutes to get out there. But really, if you live downtown, that's where you were. You lived, then you could move out to the beach.
We get a text in from a listener named Matt, who's got an 803 area code. He says Jacksonville is a huge melting pot of Bulldogs, Seminoles, Gators, and Gamecocks.
They are.
It is definitely a college town.
Absolutely, it is. Yeah, they love some Georgia Bulldogs there. Florida Gators for sure. So, yeah, a little South Carolina and Florida State as well. You're right, but they're big. Florida, I mean, there was a bigger crowd, bigger buzz than any game we played in that home stadium when Florida and Georgia played in that stadium, like just around the city and everything. It really was.
But this is the historic site where this game is played. Like every year but two, since 1933, Florida and Georgia have played in Jacksonville. So you're going on 90 years of tradition. Arkansas has a tradition of playing A&M at the Cowboy Stadium, but it's nowhere near 90 years. It's, 11, 12, 13 years old, something like that. 2 years that you played on campus because that's when A&M joined the league. I still feel like Kirby Smart was. I think he talked a few months ago about that it doesn't help recruiting. That's what you always hear about the neutral site games, is that it's no good for recruiting because you can't treat it like a home game. So you lose a weekend
But that's ridiculous because the atmosphere. Yeah, the atmosphere is so amazing there. Yeah.
But that's the same thing that I wonder about playing in Arlington. For Arkansas. And it's pretty important to make sure you get all of your recruiting weekends. So why not change the rules a little bit? Or is that game not going to be played in Arlington once the contract is up?
I think it should be. I think it helps recruiting. Going down there and playing in Jerry's World and having that and kind of means something. And especially now that you're going to lose. Yeah, I don't know who you're going to lose, if it's Missouri or LSU, but LSU's changed. I think we played them the first conference game of the year this year or something. Like it's all weird.
You're right, Clay. It's 100 days until the start of the football season.
I wonder which would be the bigger deal, to go watch Oklahoma, Texas at the Cotton Bowl, or to go to Jacksonville and watch Florida versus Georgia. I wonder which is the bigger deal. I've seen the Oklahoma, Texas deal, and they're talking about that might come to an end, that they may go home and home. Play on campus sites for the same reason.
That's also that game's traditionally been played at the Cotton Bowl. I mean, I don't know if it's 90 years like the cocktail party, but that's where that game's always played.
That's correct. Yeah, maybe Arkansas, Texas A&M goes to campus sites, and Oklahoma, Texas plays in Jerry's World.
What about when the Iron Bowl moved out of Legion Field? Because that must have felt.
That was a dump. That's what had to happen, though.
Really? Okay. That's a different situation.
Yeah, that stadium was actually, you say the Iron Bowl, it was rusted out. It was collapsing. A little bit like Tulane Stadium was.
Well, when they played the Super Bowl?
Yeah. That stadium was old.
All right, we can break and wrap things up in a moment. Thanks to Roller Funeral Homes. You voted Roller Funeral Homes best of the best 23 consecutive years in the Democrat Gazette Leadership Poll. Generations of families recognize the Roller difference. You know that when you call on Roller, you receive all their respect. Go to rollerfuneralhomes.com for all the information on life insurance policies, prepaid funerals, and cemetery markers. All right, wrap halftime up after this quick break.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
What makes a meal magical? Maybe it's coming home to smiling faces and the aroma of the grill. Maybe magic is the moment you finally get the secret ingredient to Mom's signature mac and cheese. Who knows, magic might just be as simple as meeting up with a friend to share a number 2 with fries and extra ketchup. One thing's for certain, magic shouldn't be hard because it's everywhere. All it takes is mixing the right ingredients, good company, great food, and ice-cold Coca-Cola. And then, voila! You'll have a recipe for magic.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind everyone to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I'd also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify.
The homestead tax credit can save you up to $375 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor.
When it's time for breakfast, Calico County is making it all from scratch. You have the dedicated early morning crew at Calico are cooking up and serving buttermilk pancakes, moist biscuits, rich waffles, country fried potatoes, 3 types of gravy, and of course their famous cinnamon rolls and much more. They serve all of this and a lot more 7 days a week until 11 a.m. Stop in, call ahead, or get it to go. Or just come by and pick up a dozen cinnamon rolls for the office. For breakfast, lunch, dinner, or catering, roll on into Calico County. They're home cooking good. Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue behind Randall Ford.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Hey, this is Chad Warner, product manager for Booyah Bait Company in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The hottest swim jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob, a bunch of river rats from Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's winning tournaments on Dardanelle and Kerr like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged vegetation, water willow, lily pads, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. Available at lurenet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma, the Booyah Mobster.
The number one place to buy your brand new Ford this Memorial Day weekend is Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw. I think summer, I think the Mustang, I think the F-150. You got a great selection of both this weekend with matching down payments.
Yes, and that's the big key right there, what you just said. We're matching down payments even on our new inventory. Most people are still only selling at sticker, or still some dealerships are selling over MSRP. You get your rebates, you get your discounts, you get your matching down payment up to $2,000. I mean, come down here to Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford, save you thousands of dollars and jump in a new Ford.
And right now, your selection's never been better, like we were talking about. The F-150's the number one truck again in America. And again, you've got a few of those Mustangs riding around. You got some more on the way.
Yes, and we've got some of the Mach-E Mustangs out here too. So it doesn't matter what you're looking for. If you're looking for a new Ford, come down here and see us. Get you your special APR, your discounts, and matching down payments.
Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Nickels and dimes, memories and wine. She's on his mind once again. The same old stew, the same old fool. Played by the rules but didn't win. There's an old love in his heart that he can't lose. He'd try forgetting, but he knows that it's no use. He's got a full-hearted memory. It won't let him see that she walked out the door. He's got a full-hearted memory. He sits patiently here every night so it can fool him more.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Give them a call or send them a text at 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
All right, we get to wrap up halftime here, and then I'm going to put all this equipment away and then go down the hallway to the press box and set up the equipment for the baseball broadcast, which means right now, I'm going to be that guy. I get to be that guy that walks into a booth and tells people, you know what, this is my booth. You got to get out. There's a bunch of people hanging out in it right now. Do I do it nicely, or do I do it in a way that makes it seem like I'm the boss?
Yeah, tell him to scram.
Scram, y'all.
Make like a tree and
Get out of here.
Y'all got 30 seconds before I call the guy in the yellow shirt that says security on it.
Right, I'm gonna be like, I got Greg Sankey on speed dial here on this rotary phone, so just be careful. You don't want me to push the right button.
No, just say, hey, can you come back in the second inning? We'd love to do an interview with you.
I would why don't you let Kevin Trainer do that for you?
Oh, see, now you're bringing out the heavy, because Kevin Trainer.
Well, he's heavy, all right.
No, you know how I mean. KT lost.
I'm joking.
He's done well. He's done very well. But yeah, he would be the. Hey, when you're the moderator
if you're at the casino, he'd be the pit boss watching the pit boss. Like he wouldn't be the. He would.
That's
be
exactly right.
Yeah.
When you're the moderator at SEC Media Days, yeah, you're the pit boss.
So I think Kevin is the guy that's always smiling, and then he whispers into his earpiece, and somebody shows up and does the dirty stuff.
And then you never see him. Yep.
Yeah, but Kevin's the one that called the forces out.
Well, he's resourceful. He's a resourceful, forceful one. That's no doubt about that.
I bet he hears about this conversation.
I got all kinds of people texting in with ideas on how to get him out of there. Sean in Alma says I tell them that I have a very special set of skills if they don't leave quickly.
Pepper spray.
Jesse in the Mountain Home says skedaddle on out of here. I'll just sort of
Asta lasagna. Don't get anything on you.
Excuse me, sir. This is my seat.
I had to do that when I sat down here earlier today.
Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord splits you.
Either one of those things might work.
I hear Target has a sale. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can get Bubba with his little bat.
That's threatening enough.
Thumping heads.
He said yesterday that the guard that let him in recognized him because of the sawed-off bat that he walked in with.
He's got the bat.
He is the guy with the sawed-off bat at a baseball park with other bats.
Tell him Morgan Wallen's outside.
Oh, no.
Oh, man, it's too bad we got like another minute on the show. Otherwise, that was the way to end it. That was a Costanza walkout moment.
Drop
Matt.
the mic.
You can finish. You're done for the day, Matt Jones. You can go away. You can leave. You did it. Well,
yeah, but, I mean, you bring in Morgan Wallen. He can't say anything. He can't use his voice right now.
Oh, he couldn't sing anyway when he did have
he
a
couldn't
voice.
sing anyway.
No. All right. So it's a 4 o'clock broadcast. We're expecting 4:32 first pitch. And tomorrow there's a show no matter what.
I love
it. Earliest we could play 3 in the afternoon. Otherwise, if Arkansas wins, no game tomorrow. Move right to the semis on Saturday.
It's going to be a fun show tomorrow. It was a fun show today.
Great stuff today. Clay, appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. You got it. Have a great day up there. Matt Jones, Matt Travis, appreciate you guys as well. Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast coming out, and Ruskin and Zach will take you from 2 o'clock until the end of time, or the start of the baseball broadcast, either one of those things. And otherwise, I'll talk to everybody in about a couple hours. For Matt Jones, for Matt Travis, for Clay Henry, I'm Phil. Get up, get out, and get better.